It's time for Catholic High School football on Redeemer Radio 95.7 FM. Welcome to the Tire Rack Game of the Week. More tires, great prices. Visit TireRack.com. High school football on Redeemer Radio is also presented by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Where you bank does matter. Now let's go to the press box for the Tire Rack Game of the Week.
It's a beautiful night here in Mishawaka, and while it may still feel like summer, we are getting set for week 4 of the high school football season in Indiana and the start of conference play in the Northern Indiana Conference. And tonight we have a great matchup between two NIC foes as 1 and 2 Marian Knights play host to the 3 and 0 New Prairie Cougars. Welcome to the Tire Rack Game of the Week. Visit TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. We are also presented by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, and thanks to those of you who have joined us here on YouTube. And please let your friends know that they can watch the game too. Just search Redeemer Radio 95.7 FM Sports on YouTube to find us here for this Marion and New Prairie broadcast. Good evening, everyone. I'm John Brach, coming to you live from Bob Altulski Field at Marion High School. Last week on this field, the Marian Knights lost a close battle with the Bremen Lions 35-31. And the Knights fell to 1 and 2 on the season. Meanwhile, the New Prairie Cougars are off to a 3 and 0 start for their second year in a row with a convincing win over LaPorte, Goshen, and Lowell to start their season with a combined score of 92-21 over their opponents. But don't count out the Knights yet. Both teams entered with the same records last year, and Marion came away with the 33-0 victory over the Cougars. Former Riley basketball coaching legend Bob Berger joins me tonight. Bob, Marion lost to Bremen last week for the first time since 2018 and fell to 1 and 2 this season. Not quite the start that the back-to-back Big Division champs in the NIC were looking for.
No, it really isn't. Even though they are defending champions, they do have a lot of young players, and we are now in Game 4. And many times those young players aren't young anymore. They've been through the battles, they've been tested, and they're getting better and better. And I think a real test for the Marian Knights tonight is against New Prairie Cougars, who in the last decade have been one of the powers in the NIC, and it looks like this is just another year for the Cougars. But wouldn't it be great to see the Marian Knights beating the New Prairie Cougars here tonight?
Well, and you say a lot of those young players aren't so young anymore. How do you think that's going to benefit the Knights tonight?
Well, I think sometimes I call it youthful enthusiasm. Sometimes they're out there. They've been through the mill a little bit. They've had their heads knocked in a little bit. But now they are ready. And I think they're ready to take on a big-time foe because of the experiences that they have had so far in this young season.
Well, and on the other side, New Prairie is off to a great start, winning their first 3 games of the season and having little issue doing so. They're under third-year head coach Casey McKim, and the Cougars are averaging 30 points a game and only allowing a single touchdown per game. At the same time, I'm sorry, we're going to actually be interrupted by the national anthem here at Bob Altulski Field. So we're going to take that to you live right now. And that was the national anthem here at Bob Altulski Field. So back to what we were talking about, Coach. New Prairie's off to a great start. Meanwhile, Marion off to that 1-2 record. What does New Prairie have to do tonight to avoid that same fate they had last year, coming into this game with the same records and falling 33-0?
Well, as you mentioned, John, Marion did score 33 points last year. Marion had a real high-powered offense, but so far the New Prairie defense has been outstanding, just giving up an average of 7 points in a ball game. And I think if they can keep their defense on the field there, or get Marion to go 3 and out, I think it can really control the tempo of this ball game in the way New Prairie would like to see it go.
Well, and the good news for Coach McKim in that respect is that his rushing leader, running back Noah Mungia, his quarterback Marshall Kumachek, and his leading tackler Tavion Ortman all return from that regional championship team that they had last year. And Noah Mungia over 1,700 yards last year. Kumachek looking to pass and rush for over 1,000 yards this year, and he's on track to possibly do so. And Ortman has already tallied up 24 tackles in just the 3 games.
I tell you, I'm looking forward to seeing I have not seen New Prairie in a couple of years, and Mungia, from what I hear, is just an outstanding running back, along with Kumachek. Those are just 2 of the better football players, not only in the conference but in the state of Indiana. It's going to be very interesting to watch them, but it's also going to be a challenge for the Marion defense.
Well, and you know how you haven't seen New Prairie really in a few years, but we also note that they haven't beat the Marian Knights since 2017, and there was 2 years in there where they didn't play each other because of the conference reshifting and different things, but they haven't won since 2017. And they are looking to try and do that again tonight.
I'm sure that's been posted somewhere around the New Prairie school and dressing locker rooms. And, it's one of those things, hey, we've lost now 4 in a row, and we want to get out here. We want to get on the winning ways. But sometimes teams have what maybe jinx isn't quite the right word, but, teams have trouble with other teams, and maybe New Prairie having trouble with New Prairie having trouble with Marion. Maybe that's a good sign for the Marian Knights tonight.
Well, and I'll ask you, in addition to that, then, what does New Prairie? We talked a little about on the field, but mentally, you were a coach. What do they have to do? Both Coach McKim talking to them and the players to kind of get across that mental block.
Well, he can say, hey, you're veteran ball players now. You've played, you're regional champs, you've had outstanding. Now this is the time. Let's see just how much we have matured, how much we have developed as a player and as a team. And let's go out, and now's our chance to really prove that we are a better team than what we were last year when we faced Marion.
All right, and Marion is led by Coach Michael Davidson, now 42-14 in his 5th season with the Knights. Casey McKim, as we've mentioned, is in his 3rd season at New Prairie and has found success himself, 19-8 in that time. Both coming off regional championship seasons last year. And now it's time to hear our keys to the game, brought to you by Christensen Furniture. Coach, you have those for us tonight?
Well, let's look at that. Marion. Coach Davidson says that his team needs a start fast. Come out and gain some confidence on offense. Then he wants to win up front and finish drives. And on defense, they need to force them into 3rd and long situations and get off the field and don't give up the big play. Those are some tall order and some big challenges for the Marion defense, but I think it's something that they can accomplish. So you look at New Prairie then. Coach McKim says the Cougars need to execute at a high level for all 4 quarters, win the turnover battle, and be physical on both sides of the ball. So, again, both coaches want to, really control this ball game with some of their strengths and take away some of the strengths of their opponent.
Well, and knowing that New Prairie has those threats returning on offense and a strong defense returning. Marion has struggled a little bit so far this year, but they had great games last week from Chase Bays and Brian Osman, and of course you have Bryce Lassane returning. What do these 2 teams, what are your keys to the game, just 1 or 2 for each team, on what they need to do tonight?
Well, I think again, one of the things is trying to keep New Prairie's offense off the field. I think New Prairie has a powerful offense. It's going to take quite a challenge for Marion, but I think that's one thing. If they can get some 3 and outs, and I think maybe that was mentioned, or Coach Davidson mentioned 3 and long, or 4 and out, I should say. But I think that if they can do that and do that early, I think it is a real key. Sometimes people, they don't do it early, then they get behind, teams get behind, then maybe they do it late, but sometimes that's too late. So I think that is really a key for Marion, in my opinion. New Prairie, I think they want to use all their offensive weapons that they have at their disposal. They've got a lot of weapons, too, both offensively and defense. It seems like all I'm talking about is offense, other than their points they're giving up, New Prairie, but they've got some just outstanding players on the defensive side of the ball.
And tallying up 92 points on offense, and as we mentioned, only allowing 7 for the defense. And those were our keys to the game, brought to you by Christensen Furniture, serving Michiana since 1912. Visit Christensen Furniture on McKinley in Mishawaka. And Bob, I believe you have tonight's officials as well.
Okay, the officials for tonight from the St. Joe Valley Athletic Officials Association. We have Tony Dreswicki, Bruce Hershey, Michael Kelly, Jay Miller, and Jacob Yoder. They will be the men in stripes tonight.
And Marion has taken the field now, awaiting their opponent to arrive onto the field. We'll tell you that this is the 18th meeting between the Marian Knights and the New Prairie Cougars. The Knights lead the series 9-8, so just a 1-game difference. Marion did win 33-0 and has won 2 straight in the series. And one thing that you note, if you look back at the history of this matchup, there haven't been that many close games in the last even decade. I mean, you go back 33-0 last year, 35-14 Marion the year before. Back in 2017, they didn't play in between there, but 2017, 42-0. New Prairie with the win, and the year before that was the last close one, and it was 21-17 Marion.
So, again, maybe I don't know what that's a sign of, really. I'm trying to think of a sign, but I sure think it's going to be a closer game that we have here tonight. And I think it's also interesting with both these teams started off in the small school division in the Northern Indiana Conference, and because of their success and some other factors, they have moved up with the big boys, and both teams have been very successful.
And they definitely have, and I agree. I think maybe this will be the break of that 6-year drought of close games in this matchup. But let's get into the starting lineups for tonight. We don't know who's returning quite yet, but we'll start with that Marion offense. Quarterback Bryce Lassane returning after starting last year. He's 26 for 49, 53% for 319 yards passing. He also has a rushing touchdown as well. And, of course, a new note is that Brian Osmond has been starting. Well, we're actually going to go to the team prayer now as the captains go out onto the field.
Holy Spirit. God our Father, we gather here in your name and ask the Holy Spirit to be with us. We are thankful for the many blessings and gifts that you have bestowed upon your sons and daughters. Most of all, we are thankful today for the gift of our bodies and minds, that in our activities, may we use them to give greater glory to you, who loves us above all things. Through the intercession of St. Mary and all the saints, may we be protected from all harm and inspired to follow the path of holiness day in and day out. We ask this in the name of Jesus, your Son, our Lord. Amen. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
And that was the pregame prayer live here at Marion High School. And as we were going through the starting lineup for the Marion offense, of course, Brian Osmond, a great story, coming in at running back after Pino Sete was injured for 4 to 6 weeks with a fractured fibula. So he's been doing a great job filling in.
Well, he really has. He's come in there and filled in, and I think, sometimes it seems trite, next man up. And but I think that's a situation where Osmond has that opportunity, and he's sure taking advantage of it.
He did a great job last week, totaling 170 yards on the ground. Of course, at H-back, Braxton Brooks will join him. Wide receiver, William Owens, or Deuce Owens, as we often refer to him. And then Chase Bays, back at wide receiver last week, tallied 111 yards on 6 catches in his return to football for the first time since he was a freshman.
Well, that's something, how he really must have had the feeling, really wants to get back out there on the field and play this great game of football. And, hey, he's taking advantage of it when he got that opportunity.
And joining him at wide receiver is Jack DeRoll. And then the line from left to right, Giovanni Garcia de la Torre, Kyle Dennison, Jack Brennan, Mikey Fuller, and Carson Jenk. That rounds out the offense for the Marian Knights, who will be receiving here first to start off the game. And so we'll get into the defense that's going to be defending them against them. And that starts with the safeties, Hayden Scott and Aston Youngblood, and the cornerbacks, Dallas Ryans and Bryce Vanderbrain. And, of course, the linebacker, Tavion Ortman, who is, as we mentioned, 24 tackles and the leading tackler for this New Prairie team.
6'5" and 225. That's a man out there.
He is a big one for the New Prairie defense, for sure. And joining him also with 19 tackles, Nathan Andresiak at linebacker, Cole Staley, all three of them returning starters for the Cougars. Cole Staley, the other linebacker and 3-year starter. And the defensive line, Aiden Ziegler, Isaac Frank, Connor Meehan, and Dylan Wilson, also doing a great job for New Prairie as we get set to kick off here at Marion High School.
Okay. Owen Shalick going to be kicking off for the New Prairie Cougars.
And I believe he's the younger brother of last year's kicker for the New Prairie, Trenton Shelick.
Presgoda and Pino Sete deep for the Marian Knights. We're about ready to get going here, John.
And we are underway here at Babatulski Field as Marion catches the kickoff, and they're off running. It's Brian Osmond with the ball going up the middle, finding a lane, and he gets all the way up to around the 32-yard line.
Great. So Osmond did a nice job, caught that thing in one corner, took it around the other side, got a little room, and decent field position to start the game for the Marian Knights.
And I believe it was Deuce Owens back there as well with him trying to return that kick. I was wondering, I was like, I wouldn't think Sete would be out there. He's got that fractured fibula.
Yeah. Oh, my.
Marion sure would have been excited to see him out there tonight.
Thank you very much, John. Not a tough start for me here. Okay. But hopefully not a tough start for the Marian Knights.
And the Knights are taking the field. 2 receivers split to each side. Bryce Lassane back to catch the snap with Osmond to his right. They're going right to left here to start the night. And there's a quick motion for Marion, and I think that might be what drew the laundry on that play. And there's a flag out.
Yeah, we can see Marion backing up.
And it's going to be a false start on the Knights. I think it was the motion that triggered that one.
Okay, so
just 9 seconds into this game.
Now, 1st and 15 makes it just a little bit tougher.
Especially after that great kick return by Osmond. So similar formation, 2 receivers out to each side as Lassane switches Osmond to his right side. And he gets the snap, goes quickly to the right side, and I think it's Chase Bays with the first catch of the night for the Knights, but I don't think he got very far on that one. They're going to say he was down around the 30-yard line, so that's a catch of 3 yards, I believe.
Yeah, 3 or 4 yards in there. But again, Bays, took out there. He stopped, set up, and got a nice pass. I think there was something mustered on that by Lassane that time.
A great cross-field pass by Lassane. He gets set to get the snap again. 2 receivers to the left. Hands it off to Osmond quickly. He goes up the middle, has a little bit of a lane, but gets wrapped up quickly.
That's Cole Staley getting the tackle, one of the outstanding returners for New Prairie Cougars.
And that one's going to be about a 5-yard carry. Brings it to 3rd and 6 for the Knights.
Well, there's where that penalty kind of hurts because the first 2 plays, successful, get it in there. But now it's a 3rd and 6. I don't know if I call that long or not, but be nicer to be 3rd and 1.
Could have been shorter, absolutely.
It could have been shorter. That's a good way of putting it, John.
And Lassane back in shotgun again. Osmond to his right. Gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, trying to find somewhere. He's pressured quickly, and he is tackled as he tries to scramble. It's Cole Staley, the linebacker, finding his way to Lassane and making the tackle around the line of scrimmage.
I don't think Cole Staley went for any of those fakes. He stayed home a little bit, saw when Lassane took off and made a good, solid tackle.
And it was a great coverage downfield by New Prairie. Their entire defensive back team there was covering it, and Lassane had nowhere to look.
Okay, so.
And now it's going to be Drew Jenk on to punt for the Knights from their own 35-yard line.
Dallas Ryans, one of the men back.
That punt was almost blocked, but Jenk did a great job of getting it off. That one's going to land around the 30-yard line, 29-yard line, and that is where New Prairie will start their first offensive drive of the night.
Good coverage that time by Michael Presgoda. It looked like the ball maybe was bouncing in New Prairie's favor, but he downed it right there before New Prairie was able to get any additional yards on the punt.
And so now we'll get a chance to see that outstanding New Prairie offense that's off to a 3-0 start with their returning 2 leading rushers, Marshall Kumachek and Noah Mungia.
Well, here's a time for the Marion defense right off the bat. You be ready. Make some good defensive plays.
And New Prairie is in a jumbo set, 2 tight ends and an H-back, and it's Mungia and Kumachek. And it's Mungia with the handoff quickly. He goes to the left side, but does not get much space. A great job by the Marion defensive line there, getting the stop right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got to give people like Denard and Johnson, Caleb Johnson, a lot of credit. They took care of their offensive man and made the stop, no gain.
And there's a great heads-up read there, and now it brings us to 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. 9:50 left to play in the first quarter here at Marion High School.
Well, I'll tell you, they're really jammed in there tight. All the linemen, all the backs.
New Prairie doing a jumbo set, 2 tight ends and 2 backs. And they look to pass out of this jumbo set. It's Kumachek scrambling out to the right, going deep, trying to find a man, but it's overthrown. He was looking for Dallas Ryans there, the leading receiver for the Cougars so far this season.
There is a flag on the play, John. Not sure.
That flag was down out where Dallas Ryans was running, so that makes you think it may have been pass interference. It was Michael Presgoda on the coverage.
Well, there's a big chance there. It didn't. Okay, referees have a better view than I do up here in the stands. So.
And I believe it is going to be a pass interference against the Marian Knights.
Yes, it is, and that hurts because they had done a nice job in the first 2 plays, made it 3rd and long.
Well, and now it's 2 penalties to start off your first 2 drives, 1 on offense and 1 on defense for the Knights.
And I'm sure those are things that Coach Davidson is hoping to, yes, they're young, but those are things that you hope to start cleaning up so you don't have those penalties.
And that was definitely one thing he wanted to stop was those mental mistakes coming into the night. And so definitely not a great start as now New Prairie gets an automatic first down with that pass interference. And it's going to be 1st and 10. That first down is brought to you by Office Interiors, creating great places to work since 1982. And New Prairie's back in that jumbo set.
Oh, they have Ryans this time split out wide to the right.
And they hand the ball off to Mungia. He finds an inside lane, backtracks, and finds his way pushing through Marion defenders to get 9 yards on the carry. And it crosses the 50-yard line. He'll be now on the 47 going into the Marion zone.
That's close to a first down. They are saying 2nd down. Michael Presgoda, and they're finally got a stop on Mungia. So, again, 2nd and short.
And New Prairie is sticking with that jumbo package. And it is Noah Mungia back next to Kumachek again, and they're going to go to him again. He runs around the outside, finds some space.
Nice straight
stiff arm, and he goes running down the sidelines. He's to the 20, 15, and he pushed out around the 15-yard line. So that is a big carry for Mungia and the New Prairie Cougars.
Well, it really was, and he just gave that stiff arm, as you said, and really got some extra yardage from that. And it took some people a little time to catch up before he went out of bounds. But he went 37 yards, I believe, on the play for the first down. Ball's on the 11.
And he found some space to the outside, and he took advantage of it. And now it is Kumachek with Brach, the second-string running back, next to him. Mungia taking a breath. And they hand it off to Sinka, going next to his pulling lineman, trying to find his way up the middle, and he does get quite a few yards out of that one. He gets down to the 5-yard line.
Well, again, the right side of that New Prairie line, really, Klosinski and Flugenhoff got nice blocking, gain of 6.
And that'll bring New Prairie down to the 4-yard line. It's going to be
I guess it's gain of 7, I believe.
2nd and 3 for the Cougars trying to get into the end zone. 8:21 left to play in this first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, New Prairie knocking at the door.
And it's Kumachek under center this time. He hands it off to Jacob Merzinski, who tries to find his way, and he does find his way to the end zone for a New Prairie touchdown.
Well, he just took that ball right off the left side, took it right in there for a 4-yard touchdown run.
And there are 3 running backs already so far in the game for the New Prairie Cougars, and it worked for them on that drive.
I tell you, it's going to keep you alert, John. Or is that my job to keep track of those running backs? That's the hard
share
job.
The duty tonight.
Okay, all right,
we can
very
share
good.
The duty tonight. And so it is going to be Chalik on to kick for New Prairie. And that kick is no good. I don't know if that was blocked or it just went off the foot wrong, but didn't get past the lineman there. So it's going to be 6-0. New Prairie jumps out to the lead in the first quarter with 8 minutes and 10 seconds. And we'll be back right after that on Redeemer Radio YouTube account.
Hi, I'm Brady.
I'm William.
And I'm Murphy.
This is
from St.
Dr.
Joseph
Tom
High School.
McGovern inviting you to join me
And
and
I'm
my
Ian from
co-hosts,
Marian High
Dr.
School.
Andrew
Because of
Malali and
Tyra,
Dr. Chris Stroud
Students
for
like
Dr.
us
Doc.
get to test drive.
What it's like to
Right
be a
here
part
on
of the
Redeemer Radio.
broadcasting world.
Together, we bring a Catholic perspective to medical issues
Football
with a full...
interns.
TIRAC makes our program roll smoothly.
Not only do we gain miles of experience
We get class credit, too.
For more tires,
And
great prices,
visit
TIRAC.com.
thank you, TIRAC.
Welcome back here to the TIRAC Game of the Week on Redeemer Radio's YouTube account. Thank you for joining us and finding us on YouTube. And please tell your friends to join us as New Prairie has jumped out to the 6-0 lead here in the first quarter. There's 8 minutes and 10 seconds left as New Prairie gets set to kick off after that scoring drive. And it was Jacob Morzinski on the 4-yard carry with 8:10 left in the first quarter.
Well, New Prairie getting ready to kick off. And that's going to be Chalk kicking off.
And that one is going to go out of bounds, so it's going to be a flag, and Marion will get some good field position. Of course, that touchdown by Merzinski was brought to you by Tony Letcher of Health Markets. Get fresh eyes on your healthcare needs. Learn more at tletcher.com.
Well, I will say that Deuce Owens was back deep on the kickoff that time. That's correcting
We're
my
sure it
first.
wasn't Sete back there?
It wasn't Sete. He snuck onto the field. That's Sete Pino did.
I'm sure he would love to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think so too.
So now the Marian Knights going to get set for their second offensive drive of the night. That last one started off with a penalty, and they're hoping to start things off differently here.
Well, that's it. They really, the first 2 plays there, really moved the ball pretty well. So this is another opportunity for them, for their offense.
And they've got Bryce Lassane under center. He's in shotgun, and they've got the single back with Osman. And he fakes the handoff, goes for the quick pass. That one's tipped up, and it falls to the ground. His intended receiver there was Jack Darrell.
Yeah, Jack Darrell is really, he had a big game in the second game of the season against Culver Military, but they went back to him quick.
Well, that definitely helps out Lassane having 2 receivers near or above 100 yards with 6 catches each. So, he definitely has some threats out there as they go trips to the left as Marion still heading right to left down the field. Osman to the left of Lassane. Lassane signaling out to his receivers. Quickly looks for the screen pass, and it's Braxton Brooks on the catch. He gets a couple yards, or I guess 1 yard there, finding his way, but it's New Prairie quick to the stop.
Travion Ortman in on the tackle. Brooks, another receiver out there, whose brother was a Truster Award winner for the Marian Knights in the state final game. I might throw that little basketball out. I don't know if you yell at me as much as Ons does.
I won't yell at you. I won't yell at you. I love
All right.
promoting the great student athletes.
There's a flag.
It looks like a hard count by Lassane was able to draw New Prairie offsides there. We'll see if that's the call. And it is. So Marion going to get some penalty yards back there. 5-yard offsides penalty will make it 3rd and 4 for the Knights with 7:34 left in this first quarter. And they're on their own 41-yard line.
Well, that 5 yards helps. And again, 3rd and 4, much more doable situation.
Lassane's got 3 receivers to his right. Osman to his right as well. Gets a low snap, recovers, looking downfield. Still doesn't see anywhere to go with the ball. He tries to scramble, but he doesn't get anywhere. And it's Dylan Wilson, the defensive lineman, getting in there for the stop.
You got to give the deep backs for New Prairie a lot of credit. There was basically just no one open on that. And I think that Lasagne had nothing to do but to run and came up a little short.
Well, and that's the second time we've already seen where Lasagne has some time to pass, but he just can't quite find an open receiver. So it's Jank on to kick for the Knights, to punt, excuse me. High snap, he wrangles it, gets the punt off. And it's Dallas.
Ryan's fumble.
Dallas Ryan's with the catch, but he gets thrown down quickly. And
I think he was down. I think the officials are saying he was down.
The ball, yeah, that is the question. The ball came loose, but I think they are going to say he was down.
Prezgoda made the good hard stick that time, but
and a good heads-up play there to recognize that it wasn't a fair catch call.
Yeah,
there was a lot of traffic down there.
There was, and sometimes you may not see it. You may get blocked out by numerous players in there, and good move by Prezgoda. Give him a lot of credit.
So now after the scoring drive ending with Jacob Morzinski getting the 4-yard rush for the touchdown, New Prairie's offense is back on the field with 6:39 left in this first quarter, starting from their own 28-yard line, 27-yard line. And it is Kumacek alone in the backfield. He gets the snap and tries to run up quickly, but he only gets about a yard on the carry as Marion's defense meets him.
It really was a nice ankle tackle on that time. I believe it was Aiden Kelly,
Aiden Kelly returning this week.
Returning is a great way of putting it.
Missing for a MCL sprain last week.
So it's good to have someone like Kelly back there in the lab. You know, again, we're talking about a 6'2", 165-pound senior, and I think the term senior is very important to the Marion defense.
It definitely is. That leadership that they lose with Kelly out. I mean, they still have Prezgoda, but having a couple guys out there is definitely important. And now it is Marshall Kumacek back alone in the backfield again. He motions a man, fakes the handoff, and keeps it again, trying to find somewhere to go. Marion's defense finds him quickly, but he's able to get through, and he finds his way falling backwards around the 35-yard line.
Well, I thought Marion had him for a little bit of a loss, but he got away and made a nice gain.
And so now it's going to be 3rd and 2, but I think Kumacek's helmet came off on that fall backwards, so he is going to have to sub out of the game because there was no flag on the play, and they're going to have to bring in another quarterback to head this New Prairie team on 3rd down with 2 yards to go on their own 35.
Well, again, as I'm looking here, they don't even have a guy listed on the depth chart as a secondary quarterback.
I believe it is Reed Robinson.
Reed Robinson, okay.
Coming in with Noah Mungia back to his left. Quick snap and a high snap, and the ball's dropped, and Marion gets the ball. Oh, it gets squirted out?
I think it was, well, let's see how the officials
call it. We'll see how it plays out.
Yes, I think Marion had it, even though Marion
I think Marion fell on it quickly, and it might have been too quickly. It squirted it out. Not sure who this one ended up with. Oh, it did end up going to New Prairie.
New Prairie, okay. Tough. I thought Marion jumped quickly and did a good job.
Marion did jump quickly. I think they landed on it, pushed the ball to the side. So New Prairie is going to keep this one, but it is 4th and 6 on their own 31, so they bring out the punt team. And it is Kumacek as their punter as well. And he's slow to punt it, but gets that one to go far, and a nice New Prairie roll. And that one goes down to the 17-yard line where Marion will start.
Excuse me, John. New Prairie got down there quickly. Van Baraney really made a quick move and got down there very fast. And so nothing New Prairie could do to let it roll. They got that good New Prairie roll.
Tired of time-consuming fundraisers? Elevate from Notre Dame Federal Credit Union can help. One local high school receives over $800 in monthly benefits for academics and athletics. Contact Diane Freeby for more information at NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. And now Marion will get set on offense to try and make a run at it again. They are starting on their own 17-yard line. Bryce Lasagne in shotgun with Osmond to his left. He gets the low snap, fakes the handoff, and he throws it out quickly to William Owens, Deuce Owens, who gets the ball and turns upfield quickly. And he'll get the first down there, brought to you by Office Interiors, creating great places to work since 1982.
Well, Deuce, he's 6'1", has good ups, and he's a very good athlete, and made a nice catch there, was able to pick up some nice yardage.
And Marion's going to be quick out of the huddle on this one, getting it set up. 2 receivers to Lasagne's right. Osmond's on his left. A quick handoff to Brian Osmond, who's met quickly by the New Prairie defense. And I think that was Tavion Ortman again on the tackle.
Yeah, Ortman, we've called his name a number of times here, and the game's only 7 or 8 minutes in, and he's a great defensive player. And we talked about him in our pregame show, what an outstanding defensive player he was.
And so Marion didn't get any yardage on that play, so it'll be 2nd and 10 on their own 28. 3:27 left in the first quarter. Lassane back in shotgun. And he drops back to pass, looking downfield right away. And he does eventually find a man, but is an incomplete pass. He was looking for Jack DeRoll again on that one, but DeRoll couldn't quite bring it in, covered very tightly there.
He was covered tightly, I will say that, and Darrell had that. He was there, but they just couldn't quite hang on to it.
And it was Brady Burnett with some great coverage there at cornerback.
He was right on him. He was, mirroring him, shadowing him.
And so now it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Knights, still on their own 28-yard line. 3:15 left here in the first quarter. Lassane in shotgun, Osmond to his left, 3 receivers to his right. And he gets the snap off just before the play clock runs out. He's looking downfield, and he's tackled very quickly by New Prairie. I didn't see who that was who got in there. I believe it was Dylan Wilson coming from behind,
I believe, yes,
and getting the sack on 3rd down. That'll make it 4th and 15 for the Knights.
Yeah, he came in there very quickly and beat his man and was able to make that sack. So, Marion forced to punt again with Ryans deep for New Prairie.
And is Jank out to punt for the Knights?
Oh, they're coming. Oh.
And it does get blocked. The punt was blocked. New Prairie picks it up for the scoop and score. And that was Bryce Van Buren.
Van Bureney.
Van
Bureney blocked it and picked it up and scored. I mean, there was 4 or 5 guys in there on the punter.
And I didn't see. I was looking down at the start. The snap, I know the last one was a little high.
Well, that was a little bit on the low side, but not a bad snap. It was just the defensive line just got through there quickly. They were coming, just about the whole team except Ryans, who was deep for New Prairie.
Well, and that's what you can't have if you're the Marian Knights. It was only a 6-0 lead for New Prairie, and now they get a quick scoop and score without even having their offense on the field. But now their offense is going to be on the field as they're going to go for a 2-point conversion here. Kumachek back in at quarterback. And he's got Mrzinski at running back. Fakes the handoff, rolls out, and finds the receiver. It is Blake Morse for the New Prairie Cougars on the 2-point conversion. And so it is going to be 14-0. New Prairie with the lead, 2:36 here in the first quarter. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this on Redeemer Radio.
Hi, this is Tony Letcher. I'm a lifelong Michiana resident and a licensed insurance agent with Health Markets. I can help you find the right health or Medicare plan to fit your needs. The great news is my help is no cost to you. No catch, no gimmick. I work with nationally recognized carriers to find the right plan that works for you. Call me, Tony Letcher, 855-776-2438, or visit my website at tletcher.com.
Welcome back here on Redeemer Radio. We are set for another kickoff after New Prairie has scored their 2nd touchdown on a scoop and score punt with 2:36 left in the first quarter. It's 14-0, New Prairie with the lead.
What we got there was Bryce Van Bureney blocked the punt, then scooped it up and scored. So it was all Van Bureney that got the nice. He did a heck of a job.
And of course, Blake Morse on the rollout pass for the 2-point conversion, getting it to 14-0 for the New Prairie Cougars after their first point after attempt was no good. And so they are going to kick off with, I believe it's Prisgoda now back deep for the Knights along with Brian Osmond. The kick is up, and it is, I think it's Chase Bays who's going to scoop that ball up, looking for somewhere to go, met quickly by no one other than Blake Morse, who just scored the 2-point conversion.
Hey, he's fired up, I guess. He did. He got down there very quickly and made a nice tackle.
Happy
this time, Marion deep in their own territory.
And he was definitely, I think he was happy to get those points. And so he was excited to go get that tackle. Now Marion their offense will get the ball back after just a minute here where New Prairie was able to get that scoop and score.
Again, 14-0 now for New Prairie with 2:30 left in the first period.
And we'll set you up for this. It's Marion's ball on their own 15-yard line, getting set for a drive here with 2:30 left in the first quarter. It's Bryce Lassane in shotgun. Gets the snap, hands it off quickly to Osmond. Osmond goes right up the middle for a few yards. Gets to about the 19-yard line.
Yeah, gained about 3, just hard yards that Osmond got that time off the left side of the offensive line of Marion.
Marion going to go with a no huddle here as 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock in this first quarter.
John,
no need to rush.
How do they get the plays in with the no huddle?
Oh, they've got those great wristbands with all the plays. They get the numbers in and they communicate with each other. So it's Chase Bays on the motion. He gets the handoff from Lassane, but he doesn't have anywhere to go, met by almost the entire New Prairie defense.
Yeah, and I think one of the leading guys that got in there very quickly was Nathan Andrziak. Made one of the first hits, and then the rest of the team kind of got in there and got the on the tackle.
And it looked like Cole Staley was in there at the beginning as well. They double-teamed him, brought him down quickly. So it's 1 yard gain for the Knights. Well, it's 3rd and 6 with 1:30 left in this first quarter.
Like you said, John, just about the whole team got in there.
And Marion's, again, no huddle. Bryce Lassane in shotgun rolls out quickly, looking downfield for the pass. And he does find a man open, and they're going to say that was a catch. It was Deuce Owens on the catch, and that'll be a first down brought to you by Office Interiors for the Marian Knights.
Well, Deuce was going towards that sideline, and Lassane put it right on the money and got that first down. So moved the ball with a nice pass play going towards the sideline.
And that'll get them up to the 33-yard line, their own 33. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Knights. Still going with the no huddle. 1 minute and 19 seconds left in this first quarter. Bryce Lassane in shotgun. Osmond to his left. Quick handoff to Osmond. And he doesn't find any. Well, he sneaks out. A short guy like that, fumble. He sneaks out a little bit. And I think they're going to say he was down before that ball came loose. So he'll get about 5 or 6 yards on that carry. They're going to say it was 6.
Yeah, Hayden Scott jumped on it, but it was after Osmond was down. So nice gain.
And that's a great utility there for Marion to have a small guy like that who can sneak past some of these New Prairie defensive linemen.
Well, it is. Sometimes that is an advantage because some of those big linemen have trouble seeing around each other.
And Marion back in shotgun with Lassane. Fakes the handoff to Osmond, looking to pass, and that one's deflected. He almost catches it on pass, but that one falls incomplete.
Probably better it fell incomplete because he had probably a big loss, at least a 7-8 yard loss.
And he did have Dylan Wilson coming right at him, the New Prairie defensive lineman. So that stops the clock with 39 seconds left here in this first quarter. Marian Knights trailing the New Prairie Cougars 14-0, but it's 3rd and 4 for the Knights on offense here on their own 39.
Well, like I say, Marion got out early and scored that first touchdown. Then the defense got a touchdown. So, or I should say special teams got the touchdown.
That's a third of the game, as Coach Reggie Glahn, former coach of the Marian Knights, would always say. And so Marion is going to get the pass off there, and it's completed to Deuce Owens again on the sidelines.
There's a flag. I think maybe there's a unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's see what the officials have to say. Deuce Owens made another nice catch. Looked like a similar play to what he made his last catch with.
I think the only difference is that one was a 5-yard out and the previous one was 10 yards out. Had to switch it up to try and make sure Deuce Owens could keep getting open. There's 33 seconds left in this first quarter, and there's a flag down.
Yep.
And it is going to be a personal foul against the New Prairie Cougars. Probably a little bit too late of a hit there on the sidelines, keeping him spinning after he stepped out.
And I think kind of kept going after really the play was over. The official had blown the whistle. So a nice little extra 15 yards.
And a big break there for, well, not necessarily a break, but a big boost there for the Knights, getting an extra 15 yards, going across the 50-yard line. So now they're going to be at the New Prairie 40-yard line. Of course, it's the end of the quarter, but you want to keep that momentum going. 33 seconds left.
Oh, you really do. You hope you can just keep that thing rolling now. They've got a little bit with the aid of a penalty.
And now it's Osmond with the carry, trying to go up the middle, but he's met quickly by Morzinski on the New Prairie defensive line. He'll get about 2 yards on the carry.
I thought Brzezinski, that was just form tackling. That's the way they taught it back to you in middle school, John. You know, where you wrap them up, put that shoulder down. It was a very classic tackle.
And the low man wins, and that's what happened there.
Good point.
Marion does not have to snap the ball. There's 8 seconds left on the play clock in this first quarter. They're reading their wristbands, looking like they might snap it. But it is going to be time running out on the first quarter here for the Marian Knights. So that's the end of one quarter here at Bobatowski Field, and New Prairie leads Marion 14-0. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this.
Are you paying more than you should for things that don't really bring you peace? Struggling to meet your financial goals? We can help. Hi, I'm Diane Freeby of Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, inviting you to learn how making little changes to daily spending habits can make a big difference. Schedule a free financial checkup today at NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. That's NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. You already share our values, why not share in our benefits? Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Nick Becker, class of 2023 at Marion High School. I'm a Berger Scholar, a program that assists students with special needs. Through this, I've seen how welcoming Marion is. I'm involved in student council, liturgical choir, and drumline. But my favorite activity is drama club because everyone feels like family. I enjoy all my classes, most of all, religion class. If you can't tell, I love my school. To learn more, visit marionhs.org. Go Knights!
Hoosier Spring Company is a leading manufacturer of compression springs for hundreds of the world's top aerospace, military, and industrial companies. Hoosier Spring has been based right here in Michiana since 1954, and they are passionate about giving back to the local community. Thank you, Hoosier Spring, for supporting Catholic high school football on Redeemer Radio. And now at the start of the second quarter, Marion is getting set, and it's Lassane dropping back to pass quickly. Still can't find anyone downfield. He's going to stumble forward for a couple of yards. Actually, a few yards there. I think he tallied up about 5 there on second down.
Made something pretty good out of something. It didn't look like it was going anywhere, really. But Lassane did a nice job finding a crease and moving that ball.
And it was the offensive line of Marion who did a great job of holding their block. So it's going to be 3rd and 4 after that gain of 4 by Lassane on the scramble.
When you're talking about holding their blocks, what are you talking about, John?
They were doing a great job of staying on their defensive guy, making sure he couldn't get off and get to Lassane quicker. And Lassane was able to find his way downfield. And now he's going to look to pass again on this play. Fake to Osmond. And he gets it to, I think that's Deuce Owens on the other side of the field now.
Yes,
and
it is
who
Deuce.
makes a great catch and spin. Gets a couple extra yards, and he gets down to about the 17-yard line. Marion Knights well into the red zone now.
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting. I believe that's a 3rd catch for Deuce Owens, and seems like every game there seems to be a guy that really excels there they seem to be going to, and it is successful.
And he did a great job of getting that first down, brought to you by Office Interiors, creating great places to work since 1982. So Lassane back in shotgun, Osmond to his right, looking to set up another great play. Hands it off to Osmond this time. Gets up to the middle a little bit, but he's met quickly again by that New Prairie defensive line.
Well, again, getting down there low, as you talk about, Nathan Andresiak kind of got there and made an initial hit, and then they really pursue and get in there and make that stop. They really do. They're not. If they do get away, New Prairie won't let them gain too much more.
And that one's going to be a gain of 3, so it's 2nd and 7. Marion on the 14-yard line, heading into the end zone. Lassane slowing things down a little bit here in shotgun. Osmond to his right, taking his time. He gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, looking to the corner, and he does find his man. And it's caught at the 1-yard line. It's Jack DeRoll on that catch.
Okay.
I wasn't sure if he was going to get both feet or a single foot in there.
I had doubt.
He had to jump up high. That was a perfectly placed pass by Lassane.
Yeah, it had to be right there on the money, I think.
Now they're going to try and hurry up this 1st and goal setup. Not let New Prairie substitute any of their bigger players in. They get the snap off quick. It's Osmond who pushes his way, and he gets into the end zone for the Marion touchdown. And it is Brian Osmond for the 1-yard rush as Marion gets on the board.
I'll tell you, couple passes to Owens and the big pass to Jack Darrell really got him in there where Osmond took that thing home.
And it was really a lot of great passes until that last rush.
So can give Osmond credit. He found that hole and snuck in there. Again, just the Southmore Osmond is. 5'4", 149.
And it is Jank on for the extra point kick, and that kick is good, so it'll bring it to 14, New Prairie. Marion 7. Marion on the board now in the second quarter. There's 10:08 left to play in this first half. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to Tom's Car Care Center.
Thanks. I'm here for an oil change. How long do you think it'll take? I need to finish up some work and then stop and pick up lunch somewhere.
Well, if you need to work, we have free Wi-Fi here at Tom's Car Care, and our Coffee Spot Cafe has great choices from soups to sandwiches, salads and wraps, and a great place to sit down and enjoy your food.
Really? I can do all that here at Tom's Car Care?
Sure. You can even run your car through the Waterworks car wash after we're done.
Wow, what a time saver. Thank you. Tom's Car Care has it all.
Tom's Car Care, the Coffee Spot Cafe, and the Waterworks car wash, located at 3201 Sugar Maple Lane in South Bend.
Welcome back here on Redeemer Radio's YouTube stream. There is 10 minutes and 8 seconds left in this second quarter, and in this first half, as New Prairie leads Marion 14-7. Marion just coming off their first score of the game with 10 minutes left here in the first half.
Great passing attack that time. Very impressed. They seem to be, they find Deuce Owens, open in spots. Then they go another direction and get a nice catch there by Jack Darrell. And so it really mixed it up well, I thought. And ended up with 7 points on the board.
I'm trying to see. They have a new Lucas Primrose out to kick off the ball for the Marian Knights this time.
Okay, he's usually considered the backup, but Lucas. Good. I got to give a shout out to Lucas's grandpa. I tell you, I hope old Jerry's listening.
And it is Primrose with the kickoff. It's a high one. It's going to fall around the 10-yard line and roll out of bounds. So that's going to be a penalty against the Knights.
Okay, so yes, Primrose's brother was first team all-conference at Penn as kicker.
I do remember that. That was just a couple of years ago.
Last year, matter of fact. Yeah.
Last year. I guess I wasn't here last year.
You weren't here.
For me, it was a couple of years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
So
you weren't in England that long, were you, John?
they always kick with their feet over there. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
But he did a good job on that kickoff. Got some great airtime on it, but didn't keep it between the lines. So New Prairie is going to be starting off at the 35-yard line, their own 35, with 10:08 left in the first half. And it is Kemachek at quarterback, Mungia to his left. They're heading right to left here in the second quarter. And it's Mungia getting tackled quickly, trying to see who had him by the ankles for the Marian Knights. And it looked like it was Caleb Johnson bringing him down in the backfield. So a nice tackle for a loss.
Yes, that's one of the nicest tackles I've seen Marion have here tonight against an outstanding runner in Mungia.
And it is. Mungia had over 1,700 yards last year.
That's impressive.
And 380 yards so far this season coming into the night. So a great tackle. New Prairie getting set for another one. It's 2nd and 12 now with that tackle on their own 33. Kemachek with the snap and shotgun. He decides to keep it himself, looking downfield, fakes the pass, does trick the defender. He's going down the sidelines, and he stays in bounds until Priscota finally meets him at the 45-yard line to bring him down. So a big gain by Kemachek, showing a little bit of athletic ability with the fake pass, juking out some guys and getting down across the 50-yard line to the 45.
And once he had a little opening, he accelerated. Great acceleration there, and Prescott fortunately got over there towards the sideline and was able to bulldog him down.
Well, and we'd been talking about Mungia, but Kemachek is their second leading rusher and was last year as well. He was trying to get up to that 1,000-yard mark as the quarterback for rushing as well. So not someone to just see him run and walk away. So he gets set. Only man in the backfield now in shotgun is Kemachek. He fakes another handoff, tries to go up the middle here. He dives through the line and makes his way down to the 40-yard line for a 5-yard gain.
Boy, he almost was in the air for most of that 5 yards. He went over the pile or through the pile.
Well, that's 2 heads-up plays by him right in a row. Seeing the fake pass, making his way down to the last one, and now seeing that hole, knowing he has to get through it right away and making the dive for the 5-yard gain.
Kemachek's a real handful for the defense here for Marion. He's been a handful for all teams he's faced so far this year.
So it's going to be 2nd and 5, ball on the 40-yard line. New Prairie heading into Marion territory. Kemachek back at quarterback in shotgun alone this time. 3 receivers to his left. He rolls out to the right, fakes the roll out to the left, throws it deep downfield, and Priscota jumps up in front of the receiver and gets the interception.
Yeah.
A great play by the senior Marion defensive back.
Really was. It was Mungia out there who has great speed and obviously a good receiver, but Presgoda came in and really did a heck of a job. Really did. It's interesting because I see Braxton Brooks kind of limping off the field right now. Or he went out on the field. Yeah, he's hobbling. He's not looking real good. I'm sure Ann Masinski will give him the utmost care. Yep, there she is running across the sidelines. She'll get down there to Braxton.
Ann Masinski, the fantastic trainer here at Marion High School, does a great job of getting the players back out on the field. I know she helped me out when I broke my hand a couple of times. So fantastic team member there for the Knights.
It is, and been here a long time. I'm not sure how long it's been, but
and now the Marian Knights getting set after that interception on their own 9-yard line, and it's Lassane handing it off to Osmond quickly, and he finds his way twisting up the middle to get about 4 yards.
That was great power running that time by Osmond, and brought down that time by Cole Staley.
Now,
who's racking up some tackles himself tonight.
Osmond hadn't been getting too much momentum up the middle. Now after that interception, seems like a little bit of a fire under this Marion offense.
You know, it does. They came out onto the field. You could see possibly a little difference there, and it showed up in the first play and second play.
Lassane hands it off to Osmond, who finds his way up the middle again, this time for about 6 yards, and he'll get that first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Hayden Scott for New Prairie in on the tackle, and a first down.
And Marion will be up to their own 21-yard line with 7:36 left here in the second quarter. Marion still going with that no-huddle offense. I think it worked good for them on that last drive, and they wanted to stick with it.
So the play comes in from the sideline to the quarterback, or just comes in and everybody picks it up from the sideline?
Everyone's wearing their wristbands, and so they're all trying to see what's going on.
Okay.
Lassane in shotgun. Low snap, hands it off quickly, and it's number 16. I have that down as Pino Sete, but I'm not sure who they have wearing his jersey because that's definitely not Pino Sete.
No, wait, is that 36?
Was it 19?
Or 19, okay.
It must have been 19. Chase Bays.
Okay.
So it is Chase Bays on the carry. He'll get a gain of 5 there, get up to the 25-yard line. 6:45 left to play in this first half. New Prairie leads 14-7 over the Marian Knights. Bryce Lassane gets the snap, hands it off. And it is number 36 this time, Aiden Kelly. I think that may have been who it was on the last play. I'm not sure, but Aiden Kelly, of course, out last week, back this week, and he has been that second guy at running back usually for the Knights, and so he gets a couple of snaps here on offense and makes the most of it there, getting the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Yeah, and I think it was Culver Military. He had 5 carries for 25 yards, and he looked strong on that one. You got to give the left side of that offensive line for Marion just a lot of credit.
So now 6:10 left to play in this second quarter. Marion pushing down the field. They have a 1st and 10 from their own 35. A low snap. The ball on the ground. Lassane able to jump on that one just in time. So a couple of low snaps there right in a row for the Knights.
Yeah, Lassane had to go down to get it and had a little trouble fielding it and tried to run the play and lost the ball, but fortunately Marion got the ball back.
Trying to do a little bit too much on that play, and that's going to set him back down to the 30-yard line. So it'll be 2nd and 15 for the Knights. 5:40 left in this second quarter.
Is there times, John, where you just want to fall on it and take the bad play there instead of trying to, you said, make too much out of it?
Well, and on that one, he might have been able to even keep that ball himself and recover a little bit, but he just tried to do the handoff, and it wasn't working. So the Knights are actually going to take a timeout after that one to try and cool things off, as they have a 2nd and 15 with 5:23 here left in the second quarter, and that gives us a chance to tell you about Holy Cross College. Visit Holy Cross College Lecture, The Role of Healing in Evangelization. A talk by Mary Healy on September 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Get details at hcc-nd.edu/Holy Cross Lecture Series. Serious scholars, courageous citizens, virtuous leaders, and passionate disciples. These are the students and graduates of Holy Cross College. And DeWalt Fluid and Power is proud to support Catholic high school football on Redeemer Radio. DeWalt Fluid and Power is full-service air and hydraulics and tooling components distributor, serving customers for over 55 years. Visit DeWalt Fluid Power, people you can trust, technology and solutions you deserve. Catholic High School Football, and DeWalt Fluid Power, both honored to be a part of Redeemer Radio this season.
They really appreciate the sponsors for our football games. It's greatly apprecited, and we think we're they're sponsoring a great product here in Marion and St. Joseph sports.
Absolutely. We're happy to have any sponsors that will join our broadcast. And Marion, of course, another one of our sponsors, is set to snap the ball here, and it looks like someone was moving early. I wasn't sure if it was the offense or defense, but a flag comes out.
Maybe it's just me hoping, but it looked like the defense.
And I think they're going to call encroachment there. Not sure what the signal was, but it might have been encroachment there on
the left side of the defensive line for New Prairie jumped just a little bit early, over anxious.
So Marion calling that timeout, paying off, going with the hard count, getting a few of those yards back after the fumble. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 from their own 35. 5:23 left in this second quarter. Lassane in shotgun, Aiden Kelly behind him. And he hands it off to Kelly, looking for somewhere to go, but he's met quickly. Spins to the outside, able to push for a little bit, but only gets about a yard on the play.
He worked hard for that yard. I'll tell you, a nice spin play, got away from some tacklers, but there were others coming in there and making the tackle on Kelly.
And so good athleticism, especially having 2 backs tonight for the Knights, but they're only able to get 1 yard. That brings up 3rd and 9 on their own 37-yard line, excuse me.
Well, do we look for Darrell or Owens? They've been successful so far tonight with going to those two. We'll see.
So it's Lassane in shotgun. He drops back to pass. Throwing to the far side to Owens is his target, but he can't quite get that out route to work again.
Okay. It's been successful so far, not that time, though. Defense may be a little bit ready for it. So it's now 4th down for the Marian Knights.
And so Marion making some substitutions, looking to get their punt team out on the field. I believe.
I don't see Jank out there myself.
It looks like the Knights are looking to go for 2 here, or possibly draw New Prairie off sides. I'm not sure exactly. They have Lucas Granado in at quarterback now because they were making those substitutions. They snap the ball, and he goes with the quick kick. That's what they were drawing up back there, but there's the whistle.
Flag on the play.
And it's going to be a false start against the Knights. So they're trying to get a little bit tricky on New Prairie, but it doesn't quite work out for them. False start. Again, but they had been on a good little trend, but another penalty for the Knights.
Well, it is, and it's nice sometimes not to see the usual, what you expect out there. And I'll give the Marion offense a little credit on that. Now I think they're left with no other choices. Nothing tricky here.
Well, but they are keeping Lucas Granado
As
in the
I
game.
say that, I see Granado still in the ball game.
So interesting choice by the Knights, but he's still in there. It's a low snap, and he's going to go with the quick kick again, but it's a good kick. Lands around the 45, and a great Marion roll.
It's more than a good kick,
and it's
John.
going to be tapped down by DeRoll at the 15-yard line, so a fantastic kick.
54 yards.
54-yard kick for Lucas Granado out of the quick kick formation. That's why they decided to stay in that formation, keep Granado out on the field, because he had a great kick, and they did have the scoop and score on the last punt attempt. So I think they're trying to keep New Prairie a little honest.
That's why I'm not coaching, John. That's why I'm not coaching.
So now
I'm glad Coach Davidson is out there. All right.
So now after a great kick by the Knights, it's going to be 4 minutes and 28 seconds as New Prairie takes over in this second quarter. They're on their own 15-yard line. Kimachek gets the snap, hands it off to Munguia, finding his way to the outside. And he keeps pushing, and as he pushes his way right through the Marion defense.
Gain looks like about 8 or so.
I think it was Boltink trying to make the stop. Actually, I think it was Lucas Granado down there, the punter from the previous play. Right. Well, one thing they could be doing, and I know Marion's defense and a handful of others in the area have done in the past, when you have a good athlete on the other side, you just key a man on him and keep on him man-to-man all night on a running back like that. So they could be doing that. And whatever they were doing worked. So it's 3rd down and 3. New Prairie on their own 22-yard line. Snap, quick handoff to Munguia again. And he finds his way through this time. No one keying on him there. Pushes his way for the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors. Finds his way all the way down to the 32-yard line.
12-yard gain that time, so I guess I talked too soon. But again, they keep going to him because he is just an outstanding, like you say, 1,700 yards last year and on his way towards that again this year.
And so New Prairie getting back quick to the line of jumbo set, no receivers. Handoff to Munguia again. Oh, the ball comes loose, and it looks like Marion recovered it. That ball just popped out right in the front, and Marion is able to get the recovery, and it's no one other than Lucas Granado on the recovery.
That's the only name we've called here in the last 2 minutes.
I swear, the last 5 or 6 plays, it's either been Munguia or Granado on either side.
Well, that's right. Oh, great job by the defense. Good hard hit there on Munguia to force the fumble, and maybe we can figure out who made the initial hit. We know Granada got the fumble recovery, so it's but he went into that line. It was stuck hard.
So with 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this first half, Marion takes over, heading into New Prairie territory.
Great opportunity, John, right now.
A fantastic opportunity for the Knights. They're on the 34-yard line, heading into New Prairie territory. It's 1st and 10 for the Knights. Again, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left as Bryce Lassane and his Marion Knights take the field. Lassane is in shotgun. Osmond back at running back to his left side. He gets the snap. He drops back to pass, and he was looking deep. Looks like it's for Deuce Owens. Tries to bring it in with one hand, but can't quite bring it down.
All right, looked like he was turning out there and couldn't quite get focused on the ball and get that hand up there. And it was a good pass out there, just a little bit long.
And it was Hayden Scott and Dallas Ryans on the coverage, doing a good job of staying with Owens. Owens tried to reach out there and get it, but couldn't quite bring it in. Marion taking a shot, but now it is 2nd and 10. Ball on 34 heading in. And they're going to snap to Lassane and hand off to Osmond this time. He charges up the middle, and he's still pushing as a pile wraps around him. And they're trying to push forward as the Marion line joins him. And he gets to about the 28-yard line or 27-yard line. And that's going to be a gain of, I believe, 8 yards. 7
or 8 yards. And he just kept going. That whole pile was moving that time. And
he pushed through
bring
quick.
Osmond down.
Able to get a good couple of yards right off the bat, and then the pile pushed him for a couple extra. So he'll get a gain of 7. It's 3rd and 3.
You never played rugby, did you, John?
I did not, but I imagine it looks a lot like that.
It looks like that as I envision rugby.
So Lassane in shotgun, Osmond to his left. Handoff to Osmond. That's a Juka guy in the backfield, but he looks like he might have found his way to the first yard.
I think he's got it.
He was right at that first down marker.
Right at the 25, the official is spotting
Getting just a few yards in that play, but it might be enough. And the refs are still
short, maybe. Yeah, it looks like
they're going to call that one short. They're going to say it was a gain of 2.5. Yeah. So they're going to be less than a yard away from that first down.
We're talking about inches. What do you go with, John?
Well, I mean, I would say Osmond up the middle, but you got to switch it up. They do have the open side of the field. They're going left to right. So on Lassane's right-hand side, they've got Chase Bays. They could try and go with the screen, could try and mix things up. So we'll see. It looks like they might call a timeout here. So we're going to take our last timeout of this first half with 1:14 left to play as the Marian Knights are trying to draw up a 4th down play. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Rising costs are affecting all of us, but those living in poverty are being hit especially hard right now. Hi, this is Ann Watson, Executive Director of the St. Vincent de Paul Society. We are here in our community assisting those who are struggling to cover food, rent, and utility costs. As requests for help soar, please consider giving to the St. Vincent de Paul Society to assist our neighbors in need. Go to svdpsb.org to show your support.
Welcome back here on Redeemer Radio as Marian Knights face the New Prairie Cougars in our Tire Rack Game of the Week. One of 2 Tire Rack Games of the Week here on Redeemer Radio. You can catch the other one on Facebook Live and our radio station, 95.7. That's St. Joe against Adams happening across town. But right now, Marion is getting set for a 4th down and 1 heading into New Prairie territory on their 25-yard line. They hand the ball off quickly, but that one looks like it got fumbled around a little bit, but I think they're gonna get the first down. And it was a keeper by Bryce Lassane there. They had a man in motion, fake the handoff, but Lassane able to push down for just enough to get a couple yards and get the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Over at Father Blythe Field, St. Joseph is leading Adams 14-0 at halftime.
And so a great lead for them there. And now Marion with a 1st and 10 on the 23 heading into New Prairie territory. Bryce Lassane fakes the handoff, looking downfield, has to scramble out of the pocket. And he throws that one out of bounds. Great defensive stand there by the defensive backs for New Prairie, not letting Lassane see anything downfield, and he has to throw that one away.
You know, we've said that a number of times, too. The defensive backs for New Prairie have really done an outstanding job on the longer passes. I know Owens has been able to get open going to the sideline, but they've done a great job a number of times here tonight.
They definitely have. I want to say the 4th or 5th time we've had to say Bryce Lassane had to throw it away or it was tackled in the backfield because he couldn't find anyone downfield. So Lassane back in shotgun, Osmond to his left, 2 receivers to the right. And they get to the low snap, hands it off to Osmond, who tries to push up the middle, gets a couple of yards, but is met quickly by New Prairie.
Well, he was met right there in the middle of the line. That was Christopher Menzer. Made the initial hit and tackle for just a short gain of 1, I believe.
36 seconds left as the clock is running here in the second quarter. Getting close to halftime. Bryce Lassane, no huddle for Marion's offense. He gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looks quickly to Chase Bays. That one's a little high, and it's tipped up and it falls down. So that will stop the clock with 25 seconds left here in the first half, but it's going to be 4th and 8 for the Marian Knights. And they're on the 21-yard line. So possibly a little long for a field goal. You don't want to settle for a field goal. So it's 4th and 8. They're probably going to try and go for this one.
I would think so right here in this situation, and I think it's a big opportunity here for them. We'll see what is brought in from the sidelines.
And now Lassane in shotgun. Again, no huddle for the Knights. Osmond to his right, 2 receivers to his right, 1 and a back to his left. And he gets the snap, drops back quickly, throws the pass quickly, and he finds a man, and it's Jack Durrell who falls in for the they're going to say he falls short of the touchdown.
They're saying it to 1. It was close, John. It was close.
So he makes the big catch to complete the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors, and falls down on the 2-yard line. So that's going to be a 19-yard catch for Durrell as Marion tries to get going quickly as the clock starts running. And Lassane's going to spike the ball to stop the clock on first down and goal.
Okay, in that game, they really want to, this is great opportunity, as we say. Brett's been calling that offense a long time here also, hasn't he, John?
He has.
You were quarterbacking.
5th or so year for Brett Badick on this. He's been around as long as Davidson has been the head coach, so that helps you out. So Lassane in shotgun getting set, hands it off to Osmond, who pushes through. And the Marion team says he's in, and the refs say he's in for the Marion touchdown. So it's Brian Osmond in for the touchdown for the Marian Knights to get the score to 13-14. They're trailing by 1, pending the extra point attempt.
Well, that was Osmond's second touchdown, and both 1-yard runs. They're getting it down there close, and they're just muscling him into the end zone.
And on both times off of great passes by Lassane connecting to his receivers.
And both times to Darrell, I believe.
And so with the PAT team and Jank out for the PAT, and he kicks it up, and that one is good. So it's going to be a tied game here as the Marian Knights score to bring the score to 14-14 here at Bob Otolsky Field, and Marion ties it with just under 15 seconds left here in the second quarter.
That was just great this last couple of minutes. I think Marion really, kept their composure. They worked down the field, made the big play when it counted, and now, hey, it's a ball game. I tell you, one time, John, it was 14-0, and the clock hadn't really moved that far. Now all of a sudden, here we are going near halftime. The score tied at the moment, and we're counting on the defense of Marion to hold that going in at halftime.
We'd like to thank TIRAC for being our title sponsor for high school football on Redeemer Radio 95.7. TIRAC plays a major role in underwriting our internship program with students from St. Joe and Marion. We have 2 Marion interns with us here tonight, Claire Watson and Ian Nellis. For more tires, great prices, visit TIRAC.com. So now tied ball game, just 15 seconds left here in the first half.
Southmore.
And it looks like the Marion kick team lined up just a few yards in front of where they were supposed to be. It would have been offsides. But
they were eager. They wanted to get down there faster.
They figured it out.
Okay.
Primrose on for his second kick of the night, trying to keep this one recovering from the last one that went out of bounds and keep this one in.
Okay.
Marion a little bit confused on what's going on.
I do hope Lucas's Primrose's grandfather, Jerry Ivacek, is listening now, Jerry. Oh,
so the
ball
was marked up to kick off on the wrong yard line. It was on the 45, should have been on the 40.
The players were set there correctly, when they first time.
Now everyone's getting reset.
Are we ready, John?
The play clock has been reset. So there's 15. We'll reset as well. There's 15 seconds left in this first half. Primrose is on to kick off for Marian Knights, and it's a low kick, and it also goes out of bounds around the 30-yard line. So New Prairie is going to get good field position here with no time coming off the clock on that kickoff.
Okay. Now, is that by design, John, going out of bounds?
I wouldn't think so.
No, and I just, because we've had two kickoffs now that have gone
That one was a little
bounds.
shorter. He might have been trying to go for the squib kick there to take a couple seconds off, but either way, he was unsuccessful kicking that one out of bounds. So New Prairie going to get the ball just over 14 seconds. Oh.
We're gonna make you accept the
Wow, New Prairie is going to accept the penalty and opt to re-kick on this one instead of taking the penalty yardage off the out of bounds. You don't see that one very often.
No, you don't. I wasn't quite sure what was happening here. No, I have not. I'm not sure I've ever seen it, to be honest.
Yeah, the vast majority of the time they opt to take the 15-yard penalty, but I guess when you only have 14.9 seconds left on the clock, you're going to try and take advantage of everything, and a kick return is a good way to do that.
Yeah. Again, they've got some outstanding runners. Gia, Sinka, a couple of outstanding runners in there. But I would think that Marion would try to keep that ball away from some of those runners. Also,
well, and another interesting point, we lined up accidentally on the 45-yard line for the kickoff last time. But now it's no accident. It's on the 45 after the penalty. So a little bit longer of a kickoff as well. Maybe another reason why New Prairie was trying to get this re-kick.
Well, let's see how things work out here in the last 14.9 seconds.
So it's a low squib kick. That one's staying in bounds. It's recovered by New Prairie. It's Ortman with the quick recovery, and he gets up to the 45-yard line for the New Prairie Cougars. So they're going to have very good field position, a little better than what they would have had if they had accepted that penalty and taken the yardage. So they're going to start from their own 45-yard line with 11 seconds left in this first half.
But there was a little over 3 seconds did go off the clock as Jack Darrell made the tackle. So we're calling Jack Darrell's name a lot tonight.
And Jack Darrell will also get a lot of credit. He didn't quite get the touchdown, but he got a great catch there for Marion on the last drive. So New Prairie getting set with their offense. 11 seconds. It's 1st and 10 on their own 45. 11 seconds left in this first half. Kimachek in the backfield for the shotgun snap, and it is Brach, the second-string running back next to him. And Sinka gets the handoff quickly. Tries to find his way to the outside, but is met by a handful of Marian Knights, and he's stopped just 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. So that'll end the first half for us, as Marion and New Prairie are tied at 14 in this great game, great first half of a game here for both teams, and a lot of great play left in this one. So we'll be back right after this for some halftime updates and, of course, second half action here on Redeemer Radio. Don't go anywhere.
Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. The golden rule. When you schedule a financial checkup with Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, our people will be helpful and honest and kind. They will look for ways to save you money, and when your checkup is complete, they will send $150 to Redeemer Radio. For more info, visit NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. You already share our values. Why not share in our benefits? Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
Every other baby born in this community now starts with Women's Care Center. But it always comes down to one woman at a time, one baby at a time, and one person like you who helps her choose life. You make this mission possible. Now more than ever, double down on what works. Double down on what is unconditionally loving, non-judgmental, and life-saving. Double down on love Find out how at supportwomenscarecenter.org.
Wireless radios revolutionized access to information and entertainment, but today's technology makes it even easier to stay connected with Redeemer Radio. Around the house, out running errands, or even walking the dog. Download our free app now and take Redeemer Radio with you wherever you go. You can catch all your favorite programs streaming live or listen to past episodes of our local shows. Just search Redeemer Radio in your Google Play or App Store. The Redeemer Radio app is brought to you by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
As Notre Dame gets set for its home opener Saturday versus Marshall, there is so much to talk about coming out of ND's 21-10 loss at Ohio State. Join John Brach and me, Angel DiCarlo, Saturday at 9 a.m. on Redeemer Radio for Notre Dame Federal Credit Union's Irish Sports Saturdays as we break down where things stand for the Irish and what the outlook is for the rest of the season. It's Notre Dame FCU's Irish Sports Saturdays this Saturday at 9 a.m. on Redeemer Radio.
Hi, this is Tony Catanzarite of Catanzarite Financial Services. If you'd like help planning your financial future, contact me at tony@catanzaritefinancial.com. This message isn't about my business. It concerns something far more important, uniting our country under God. My father and mother, Joe and Mary Catanzarite, lived their lives based on love of God, family, and country. Consider the question I recently posed to their 8-year-old great-grandson, my grandson, Rocco. If we all do our best to keep the 10 Commandments and treat others the way we'd like to be treated, how many problems would we have? He looked at me and said, not very many. Sometimes it takes a child to open our eyes, simplify things, and help us find the truth. So let's all do our best to keep the 10 Commandments, treat others the way we want to be treated, and let's unite our country under God. For Catanzarite Financial Services, I'm Tony Catanzarite.
Securities and advisory services offered through Harbor Investment Inc., member SIPC.
At halftime, Marion is tied with New Prairie, 14-14 here at Marion High School. A great first half of action there, and we'd like to tell you, different gifts, same spirit, one body. That's the unifying message taken from Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, is being lived out daily by the students and faculty at Marion High School. All are welcome to celebrate how these different gifts unify and strengthen the one body that is Marion High School at our Marion Family Tailgate, Friday, September 30th, beginning at 6 p.m. in the Marion Cafeteria. Come join us for food, fun, and fellowship, and see why family is at the heart of Marion High School. Please visit www.marionhs.org to learn more about Marion's mission. Did you know that Redeemer Radio has started a national Catholic podcast network called Spoke Street Media? Our mission is to provide content that invites those listening grow closer to their relationship with God. Head to spokestreet.com and you can find out more find more than 40 podcasts that are now part of our network from all over the country. All right, Coach, I understand you've got a few scores from around the area.
All right, let's look at the ones we have. All of these that I'm going to give you are halftime scores. I've got Elkhart leading Washington 34-0. Mishawaka is ahead of Goshen at halftime, 30-0. Northwood 35, North Ridge 0 at half. Little bit of a surprise, I think. Yes. Didn't we? I think we both picked Northwood, though.
I think so, but 35-0. I think that was a little unexpected.
Yeah, that is unexpected.
Expecting a closer game.
Me too, because I guess what Northridge double overtime or something lost to Mishawaka, which Mishawaka impressed me. But Riley 20, Clay 0 at half, St. Joe 14, Adams 0 at halftime. That's over on our other telecast with Anj and Joe. St. Xavier, this is a second quarter score. St. Xavier 14, Penn 3. So Penn is hanging in there. Warsaw at halftime, up on Concord 6-0, which a little bit of a surprise. And the battle of the unwinnables, I guess. Wawasee and Plymouth. Wawasee is up at halftime over Plymouth, 21-14.
I didn't get a chance to listen earlier today. Who did you pick in that one?
I went with Wawa C.
Okay, I think I did as well.
I think you did too. We varied on a few, but not many.
Not too many.
Not too many.
Well,
Hans tried to make it a little interesting.
Of course, hopefully that backfires on him for our sake.
I know he's got a 2.5 game lead over each other. I'm 4 games.
We need to make it back. We need to make it back.
Okay.
Well, meanwhile, here at Marion High School, during halftime, Marion's honoring the seniors from a lot of their different sports teams around campus. So great to see all of those student athletes out here. Of course, we love to support the student athletes at both our local Catholic high schools here on Redeemer Radio. And speaking of those student athletes, let's run through that first half scoring from the student athletes on the 2 football teams tonight. So, of course, it started with 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter. It was Jacob Morzinski for the 4-yard rush to get New Prairie into the end zone for the first points of the game. They did not make the point after attempt there, so it was 6-0 at that point. And then it was Bryce Van Braney who had the block punt and the scoop and score to get the New Prairie Cougars in for another score. And they did convert the 2-point conversion there with Blake Morse to get them to 14-0 at that point. But Marion's Brian Osmond had something to say about that. He had the 1-yard rush after a couple of great passes to a few different guys, especially Deuce Owens, getting Marion close to that end zone and scoring with 10 minutes and 8 seconds left in the second quarter. And then Jenk getting the point after attempt there to make it 14-7. New Prairie still with the lead. And then Brian Osmond again with another 1-yard rush with just 14 seconds moments ago left in the first half to make it a tied game. And then Jenk, of course, making the PAT there as well.
Sometimes I'm wondering here if the block punt by New Prairie, the scoop and score after the block punt, kind of woke Marion up a little bit, because they were a different team after that point. They really dominated this football game since the block punt touchdown that New Prairie got.
They absolutely did, and one thing to note, it wasn't just offense, Lassane getting the passing game going a little more, but also on defense, Przgoda gets an interception, and Granada gets a fumble recovery as well. That Przgoda getting it at 8:10 left in the second quarter, and then with just 2:50 leading to that final scoring drive, Granada getting that fumble recovery. So on both sides of the ball, they started to play a little better.
Great point. I think the defense really is looking strong and looking well. I know, I hate to say it, but they've really kind of, as you say, keyed on Mungia, and I don't know what yardage he has, but it's way below his average, that I'm sure. So you got to give the defense a lot of credit. That's a great point, John, that you made there.
And now we'll shift to New Prairie's offense. They started out really strong. And they've slowed down a little bit, of course, the second touchdown being a punt block, and they haven't scored since then.
No, they really haven't, and I think that, again, we go back to the defense maybe again, but they've been able to really kind of put a stop. I know that, for New Prairie, Kumicek, he became basically their primary runner. He got some nice runs, but other than that, they've really kind of slowed up with their running game.
Well, let's take a look back at the keys to the game brought to you by Christensen Furniture, and let's see how both teams are doing with their coach's goals going into the night. Coach Davidson says that his team needs to get off to a fast start, come out and gain some confidence. I'm not so sure they did that.
No, I don't think they did. I think they got down there early, down 14-0, and I thought this is looking like it's, things aren't looking good right now. But I think they did gain some, though. They did.
They gained some, especially with that Przgoda interception.
Yeah, I think that's probably
that
a key
shifted a
too.
little
Great
bit of the
point,
energy
John.
as well. He also said the offense wants to win up front and finish drives, again, maybe not at the start, but those last 2 drives, they did a great job of finishing them.
Yeah, it's almost like 2 games, that they played there. They have really done all. They didn't do all those things early, but, hey, they're doing them now.
And they definitely are. Now on defense, he said they needed to force New Prairie into 3rd and long and get off the field quickly. Don't give up the big play. Getting off the field quickly, I'm not so sure about, but some of the other aspects.
Yes, and the big play, I'm trying to think of the biggest play that New Prairie had.
I know one of the rollout runs by Kimicek was a pretty good one. He had a fake pass. I want to say he went for around 25 yards. I don't know if they had a bigger one than that. But
I guess we had to give a grade. It'd probably be a C on that particular phase of the game.
Probably, but
they did at times and didn't at times.
But their offense winning up front and gaining some confidence eventually.
Yes,
they did a
I
pretty
think
good job.
that the grade is getting better all the time.
On the flip side for New Prairie, Coach McKim says the Cougars need to execute at a high level for all 4 quarters. Through the first 2 quarters,
I'll tell you, the first quarter I'll give them a pretty high energy.
I would agree.
Again, we're talking about maybe 2 games, so it's going to be interesting what happens that second half.
And, as for the second quarter, maybe not so much, but the second half, of course, it could be a different ball game. And then he wanted to win the turnover battle. I definitely have not done that so far tonight. Marion getting 2 turnovers, New Prairie giving up 2 turnovers.
I know the listeners can't hear my head rattle when I'm shaking. No, they did not. They did not. So that was one thing that probably I'm sure Coach Kim would really like to address.
And Coach McKim also wanted to be physical on both sides of the ball. They've definitely been physical.
They're a physical team, yes. I will give them a lot of credit for that.
And I'd give both teams credit. The lines for each team, first doing a great job of getting some push, a couple of yards, but then the defensive lines have done a great job of being physical, getting off their blocks, and containing the running game on each side.
I think you're absolutely right. I think it's a great thing to point out. It really is. So, and maybe that's why we have a 14-14 tie here at halftime.
And that was the keys to the game, brought to you by Christensen Furniture. Hoosier Spring Company is a leading manufacturer of compression springs for hundreds of the world's top aerospace, military, and industrial companies. Hoosier Spring has been based right here in Michiana since 1954, and they are passionate about giving back to the local community. Thank you, Hoosier Spring, for supporting Catholic high school football on Redeemer Radio. And we will be right back after a short break here for some second half action as Marion and New Prairie are tied at 14 here at Bob Atolsky Field at Marion High School. Don't go anywhere. We've got a great game for you and some great second half action right after this.
After a fight with my wife, I was complaining to God. Why does it always have to be about her? Can't it be about me? And God spoke to me, not audibly, but in my heart, and with words I'll never forget. He said, "You have every right to make it all about you, to put your own needs first. You have every right to be average, to be ordinary, and not to become a saint." Suffice it to say, I retracted my prayer. And in retrospect, I think God wasn't only calling me to holiness, but to happiness. The days I wake up and say, my wife is lacking these 5 traits of a perfect spouse, I should tell her. Those aren't my best days. The days I wake up and ask myself how I can make her the happiest wife on earth, I end up being the happiest husband. Go figure. Jesus said, whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. This is Chris Stefanik from RealLifeCatholic.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Green, St. Joseph High School, class of 2023. At St. Joe, I'm involved in German Club, peer mentoring, and theater. By the time I graduate, I will have been in 8 productions with St. Joe Theater. The fall plays and spring musicals have introduced me to the most welcoming and supportive community in the school. For me, St. Joe is one big family. The impact left by students and staff will stick with me long after I finish high school. Learn more about joining the St. Joe family at stjoehigh.com.
We know you like football, so do we. We're TireRack.com, and this is our version of a 2-minute drill, except it's only 30 seconds. TireRack.com has an enormous selection of tires. Not sure which ones to buy? Use our Tire Decision Guide to find the right tires for your vehicle and the way you drive. Then get them shipped fast and free on all orders over $50. Shipping is in as little as 1 day, free. TireRack.com ships to independent, recommended installers. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Touchdown!
Listen to Redeemer Radio Share-a-thon September 20th through 23rd. Be inspired by stories of how our local Catholic radio station is impacting the faith lives of people across our diocese. Then become a part of that mission by lending your support. We strive to create daily encounters with Christ. Help us respond to this call and support Redeemer Radio Share-a-thon, Tuesday, September 20th through Friday, September 23rd.
St. Vincent de Paul Society's fundraising gala is happening on October 19th. Support the good works of the society by attending the event or bidding on the silent auction items. Go to foundersgala.givesmart.com for more information. Welcome back here on Redeemer Radio to the Tire Rack Game of the Week, presented by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, as Marion and New Prairie are tied at 14 as we are getting set for the second half of action in this great NIC matchup to open up conference play in the Northern Indiana Conference.
I tell you, John, didn't you feel that this could be just a really an outstanding football game here against two teams from the big school division, two teams that are always a factor in that conference chase, and I think they aren't disappointing me at least.
It definitely has not been a disappointment. I think, as we talked about a little bit pregame, a lot of people looked at the matchup, looked at New Prairie so far this season, looked at Marion and thought, New Prairie's probably going to be able to come in there. Maybe they have a little trouble, but come away with the win, and I don't know that too many people expected a tied game at 14 going into the second half.
No, I don't think so either. But, it's interesting, though. I go back to, I think it was New Prairie's second game of the season against Goshen. I think they were either tied or trailing at halftime against just a very, I should say, an average Goshen team. And they did come out the second half and took control of the ball game. Ended up winning 34-14. I think they were down 14-10 or something at halftime. So again, maybe, I don't know. We'll hope the Marian Knights are ready to meet that challenge of the second half against New Prairie. But I'm very impressed. Yes, I think even Seguin had, I believe it was by 11 points or something. I believe New Prairie was the favorite.
Well, we've seen in previous weeks with Notre Dame football, 17.5-point underdogs was a little bit exaggerated. So possibly the Sagarin rating is a little off tonight as well. But as of right now, it is a great game so far between the Cougars and the Knights here at Babatolsky Field. And, Coach, we went through the keys to the game given by both coaches and how they've fared so far. But what do you think heading into the second half each team needs to do to correct for what's been stopping them?
Well, I think to start with New Prairie, I think they are going to really have to get Mungia opened up some way. He's a big-time runner. He's a big-time high school runner, and I think trying to find some adjustments, because right now it's just basically Kumichek is about the only offensive threat as far as running attack goes, and so I think somehow to find Mungia, open him up. New Prairie, Marion, I think one of the things I think they found, their passing game has looked pretty good. I think maybe we might even see more passes, more of a passing offense tonight with as we watch Lassane really try to open things up a little bit and keep that going, what they did, for about the whole second period.
Well, I definitely agree with you. Mungia needs to get a little bit going, try and open up the running game, and then maybe the passing game for New Prairie. Of course, they are heavily favoring that jumbo offense, two tight ends, and even a H-back in there blocking.
I don't think they've tried to pass, have they? I don't.
They've tried it. They've attempted a couple tonight.
They
do have an interception by Michael Prisgoda.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yes.
They attempted a couple before that as well, but definitely have not fared well in the passing game for the New Prairie Cougars. On the other hand, the Marian Knights and Bryce Lassane started out a little slow. For sure, the first handful, not able to find anyone downfield and having to throw it away or take the sack. But they seem to get things going a little bit there with a couple of different threats.
Well, they have. They found that open player. They've been going to, like you say, Darrell or Owens, and I think they've been able to mix it up a little bit and and have some success.
And did you have a couple of game updates from elsewhere in Northern Indiana?
Well, we do have a few here. Glenn is leading Jimtown at halftime, 20-7. So Glenn must be for real. Also, is one of those things that we talked on our tailgate show. You don't bet against Coach Barron.
Yes, you don't.
You just got to be careful. Oh, Marion boy, right? You just
yes.
Yes, I know. And he tells us about all his records. His track records are still up there on the boards. We know that Mishawaka has extended their lead against Goshen. They're up 37-0 into the third period. So that is the basic updates that we have.
And now we're getting set for the second half of action here. Marion is going to kick off to New Prairie to start the second half. Again, it's tied 14-14 as we head into the third quarter, as Primrose is back on to kick for the Knights. And he kicks it off. It's a short but high kick. It falls around the 25-yard line, and Marion goes down in coverage. Can't quite see who picked up the ball for New Prairie there. He scrambled around a little bit, but he's brought down.
I think it's Ryan's.
It's
I
Dallas
believe,
Ryan's.
Number
He's
25,
brought down.
So he got the return.
Brought down right about the 25-yard line, it looks. Their first drive of the second half.
Okay, so again, big opportunity here for the
Kimicek and Munguia in the backfield. Sorry, it is a handoff, and it is not Munguia. It is Brach Sinka in the backfield. He gets the handoff and fights his way out to the left side and runs all the way up for about a
running back.
So we've been seeing a couple different backs on both sides of the field tonight.
Point.
That time, Brach Sinka doing a great job of finding some space and getting the first down gain. So now it's 2nd and 2 back in that jumbo package. Kimicek and Sinka in shotgun, and it looks like that one might be a false start against the New Prairie Cougars.
Well, they know it. They're backing up 5 yards. So again, you've lost most of it.
And so they're going to be looking to recover from that on 2nd down here. It's Kimicek and Sinka in the backfield. Quick handoff to Sinka. He's trying to find his way around the edge. He finds some space, but he's tackled by Marian Knight diving on his back. And that's only going to be a gain of a few yards. And I believe it was a great stop by Joseph Carrillo for the Marian Knights, if I'm reading.
I believe.
Or Jake Murphy, excuse me. Jake Murphy.
Okay, I saw
he turned around, and I see the 2 is
the
2 is a 3 actually. So it's Jake Murphy on the tackle there.
Okay.
Able to jump over and get the tackle. So it's only a gain of 3. So it's going to set up 3rd and 4. New Prairie on their own 34 here with 10 left in this 3rd quarter.
Great job of pressuring. Made him go out to the right. Saw an opening out there, and able to pick up some yards and a first down.
And that first down brought to you by Office Interiors, creating great places to work since 1982. So a fresh set of downs for New Prairie with 9:45 left in this 3rd quarter, and they are trying to push their way across midfield.
Yeah, Ryan split out left.
And it is Kimicek and Sinka still in the backfield. He gets the handoff, running around to the outside, but a great contain by the Marian Knights. And a lot of, well, we were talking about during halftime, a lot of physicality around the outside, but a great contain by Marion, and it's only going to be a 1-yard gain.
That was, and there were a lot of blue shirts moving towards that ball carrier, and did just a super job stopping Sinka with a short gain.
So it'll set up 2nd and 9. New Prairie on their own 44-yard line with just over 9 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. And they're sticking with that jumbo set, just one receiver out to the far right. And it is Kimicek and Sinka still in the backfield. Sorry, Munguia now substituted in the game.
Yes.
So Munguia in the game, and he gets the handoff right away. Running around to the outside. He finds some space on the outside, pushes about to the first down marker, getting about 9 yards on the carry.
Well,
and they're going to say
they gave it to him.
He pushed through for that first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Okay, so got a nice 6-yard gain, his first carry of the second half. So they started with Sinka, kind of interesting. Now they come back with their big running back, Munguia.
Well, and I'm not perfect at reading it, but it looked to me like they ran a play to this side with Sinka, and then they flipped it and ran it to the other side with Munguia, and it worked for them the second time. So now they're setting up for a 1st and 10 from Marion's 47 with 8:13 left in the 3rd quarter. Kimicek in shotgun, hands it off to Munguia. He tries to find his way in the middle, met by a couple Marion players, but pushes forward for about a 3-yard gain.
The interior of the Marion line did a nice job that time. And if we get a guy turn around, I believe it was Mikey Fuller made the stop.
And he was assisted by Preston Shue on that one.
Okay, so a couple of guys got in there quickly. Fuller, a 6-foot, 258-pound senior, one of the veterans on this Marion team.
Excuse me, Mark Warrington helped him out there. But now it's Kimicek in the shotgun, gets the direct snap and starts running up the field. He finds a little bit of space.
He just put his head down.
And he's showing his speed and his physicality, pushing his way down the left hash mark. for the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Well, that time the stop was Presgoda, but his helmet came off, so he is coming out. All right, that's right. You mentioned it, John. That's the physicality that you were talking about. That was a physical play.
Seeing
right
a
there.
lot of blockers upfield for New Prairie and a lot of Marion defensemen coming down trying to make the tackle. So New Prairie does get the first down on that one. There's just over 7 minutes left in the third quarter as New Prairie is driving down the field, now on the Marion 33-yard line with a 1st and 10. They've got 2 receivers out to the right this time, no back in the backfield. Kimicek in shotgun, a low snap. He rolls out to the right, starts to try and run, lobs one up, and that one is intercepted.
Oh, no.
Oh, they're calling it incomplete.
Couldn't quite hang on.
They're calling that one incomplete. I'm not sure. It must have bounced off the ground. And it was a great job by Brian Bolting trying to bring that one in. Kimicek got hit as he tried to pass that one, so it was a little wobbly and a little short. Bolting trying to get there.
Doing his best. Great effort that time by Bolting.
A little bit of a
really
drop,
was.
and so it's going to be still New Prairie ball. 2nd and 10 after that incompletion. And Marion getting set to try and make another stop here as New Prairie is in their jumbo set with Cinca back at running back for the Cougars. And now he gets the handoff right away, running to the outside, finds his way through some Marion defenders and pushes forward for about 12 yards and the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors.
That was Braxton Brooks that made the initial contact, so it's good to see him back in the ball game because he hobbled over here. And as you said, trainer Ann Masinski gets him back and ready to go.
She does, and he was in there, but he wasn't able to quite get there quick enough to stop that first down by New Prairie. So a great run by Cinca, and it's going to set up a New Prairie first down on the 20-yard line heading into the Marion zone. And they're going to stick with that jumbo package. They've got Munguia split out to the left, notably. So no back in the backfield with
different,
Kimicek.
isn't it, putting him out there?
Hey, put him in motion, going left to right. He gets the handoff. Oh, he doesn't get the handoff. Faked me out there as Kimicek keeps it going up the middle for a handful of yards. So he's going to get about 4 on that carry, 4 or 5.
Well, that time, again, Marion got through there very quickly, kind of slow things up. You got to give a little credit to Jake Murphy through there, and that slowed up the runner and consequently able the defense to jump in there and, hold it to just a 4-yard gain.
And so now it's going to be 2nd and 6 for New Prairie. They get down to the 16-yard line. Huddling up, taking a while back there, trying to figure out exactly what they need to get the 6 yards for the first down or 16 to get to the end zone. So they're in a massive jumbo package. They send Munguia in motion, past Kimicek in shotgun. He gets the handoff, but great tackle there by the Marian Knights, stopping him around the line of scrimmage, trying to see who was able to get back there so quickly and make the tackle. I want to say it was Brian Bolting.
Well, I tell you, they mobbed him. His teammates from Marion mobbed him. We have trouble seeing it. I'd love to call him out because it was just a great defensive play.
Actually, I want to correct that. I think it was Lucas Granado in there for the stop.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
And so he was able to find his way in there. And now New Prairie is set up for 3rd and 7 on the 17-yard line, heading into the end zone. Cinca back in next to Kimicek in shotgun, but Marion defensive line right after the snap is off. They get into the backfield and stop Cinca right after he gets the handoff. A great job there by Marion's defensive line, led by Caleb Johnson, getting the tackle for a loss.
Well, I tell you, there were 3 or 4 Marion Knights got through there quickly. And, again, New Prairie didn't have anywhere to go, nothing they could do except eat it.
Not sure exactly what happened there, if they were just caught off guard a little bit, but maybe it was a hard count that went wrong. But now it's going to be 4th and 10 for the Cougars on the 20-yard line, and they've got 2 receivers out to the left. They're going for this one. Kimicek in shotgun, the high snap. He rolls out to the left, looking downfield, trying to find a man, and he throws it short to Bo Kimicek, who makes the catch but is hit quickly, and Presgoda hits him. And there's a little bit going on down there, and there's already a flag down on the field.
There was
before the pass.
Yeah, before the pass was ever made. That was a big-time hit by Presgoda. Again, John, you've talked about it tonight, physicality, and that's been a key ingredient in this ball game.
And I think both teams want this one bad mentally and physically. So That one, I'm not sure what the call there was, but it was against New Prairie.
Against New Prairie.
Which means Marion just has to decline it, and they're going to take over the ball because that was 4th down. So Marion takes over on their own 20-yard line with 4:05 left in the 3rd quarter.
New Prairie was down there getting ready to score. They were moving the ball, and I thought the defense for Marion really stood up and got tough, especially, where you had 4 guys sacking the quarterback, Kuminchek. And so I thought a great job by the defense.
And now Marion's offense is going to try and match that physicality. They're coming onto the field, and it's Lassane in shotgun with Osmond to his right. 2 receivers to his left. He motions a man. It looks like Chase Bays, but still hands it off to Osmond running up the middle. And he's able to get a few yards into the mush that was the offense and defensive line, and he's going to get about 3 yards on the carry, 4 yards on the carry.
This is the first time that Marion has touched the ball here in this half.
And it was a long New Prairie drive there,
really?
Taking off about 8 minutes
about 8
of this
minutes
3rd quarter.
and
but
came up with nothing.
And now Marion's going to take over. They're on the 24, their own 24-yard line for 2nd and 6. And it's a quick handoff to Osmond. He goes up the middle, finds a little bit of space, but he's hit hard at the 30-yard line. And I'm not sure if he held onto that ball, but I think it's going to stay Marion ball.
Well, I'll tell you, Dennison and Brennan and Fuller really did a great job there, blowing their man off the line and giving Osmond a lot of room that time. What, gain of 5 was it, I believe?
His 5-yard gain sets up 3rd and 1. A lot of credit to Osmond there. He got hit pretty hard there, short of the 1st down, and he got up, shook it off a little bit, and he's back up ready to go.
You don't want me to say physicality again. You're tired of that word.
I think everyone listening and watching
they got the idea. This is a physical game.
So it's Lassane in shotgun, and it looks like they were going for a hard count there, but the left side of the offensive line wasn't on the same page.
No, we got that flag. That's going to back things up, I'm afraid.
So we're going to see the refs are all going into the middle to talk this one over, try and see who moved first, because if New Prairie did cross that line and possibly came in contact with Marion.
Looks like New Prairie's backing up.
It could. I think they're just going to huddle up. So the refs
guys in a huddle up.
Taking their time on this one.
I hope I'm right.
It's 3rd and 1 for the Marian Knights, depending on what this penalty is. And with 2:48 left here in the 3rd quarter, this gives us a chance to thank Matt and Sharon Edmonds and their team at TireRack for being the title sponsor for high school football on Redeemer Radio 95.7 FM. TireRack also plays a major role in underwriting our internship program with students from St. Joe and Marion for the last 5 years. We're excited for the internship program to be once again for class credit. Great tires, great prices. Visit TireRack.com.
There was no call on that. They just 4th and 1 again.
Interesting. I'm not quite sure how it can be a no call when teams were moving before the
Yeah,
ball is snapped.
I was looking for the official. Maybe offsetting.
Maybe offsetting.
Offsetting would be the only.
So it's going to be Lassane in shotgun. He motions Chase Bays. He's got Osmond to his right. And this time it is New Prairie that jumps offside.
That time it was New Prairie, yeah.
And so I'm not sure exactly what.
Now we got a timeout.
I'm not sure what's going on
I don't
the field
know
right now.
It
looks like there is going to be a quick timeout. I'm not sure who called that timeout, but we're going to take a quick timeout as well. We'll be back right after this on Redeemer Radio.
Hi, this is Rob Myers, President of Office Interiors. We're a proud supporter of Redeemer Radio and the Catholic schools in our communities. When you need furniture, space planning and design, flooring, or audiovisual technologies, then Office Interiors is the preferred choice. To learn more, visit our website at oiplaces.com or call us at 574-277-3400. When you love where you work, you do what you love.
Ave Maria Press has been publishing Catholic books and resources for more than 150 years, and they are located right on the north side of the Notre Dame campus. Visit AveMariaPress.com for a wide selection of spirituality books, classic Catholic literature, and even more books for families. You can also find podcasts and free downloadable Catholic content. Visit AveMariaPress.com and receive 25% off your order with code REDEEMER. Ave Maria Press, helping people to know, love, and serve God.
So it is 4th down and 1 as we welcome you back here. And the Marian Knights are lined up in their offensive set, 4th and 1 from their own 29-yard line. It's Lucas Granado in at quarterback. He's known to do the the squib punt, the quick punt at quarterback.
And had a good one his last time, 54 yards.
And they do decide to go with the quick punt again. That one's up, and it lands around the 30-yard line. Another great roll.
Yeah.
And so that one's going to bounce not quite as far as the last one. That one gets to the 28-yard line. So a Granado punt down to the New Prairie 23-yard line, excuse me.
That was just a 49-yarder. That was 5 yards shorter than what his first one was.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're doing a quick punt with Lucas Granado in there, I don't know that you're going to complain about a 49-yard
No, I'm not complaining about a 49-yarder. Yeah, Granado's doing a good job, really a great job with the punt.
And they're doing had to keep New Prairie honest there with a 4th-and-1 situation.
Yeah,
on
that
as well.
really did. That put all the punt returners and everybody up. They didn't want to waste a defensive man back there.
So a long New Prairie drive to start off the second half, 8-minute drive. Then Marion with only a 2-minute drive. Now New Prairie getting it back on their own 23. And it's Kimichek getting the snap, handing it off to Mungia, who's hit pretty quickly but still fights forward for about a yard. And that's going to set up 2nd and 9 for New Prairie. Just about 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Well, I think tackle, I believe that time was by Jake Murphy. Got in there and wrapped him up. So just gained 1.
And so now after a short Marion drive, this Marion defense has to come back out on the field. They were very physical last time.
John.
And we'll see if that high intensity wears down on them over the course of this drive.
Yeah, they got a limited rest there. So
New
we
Prairie.
will see. I think that's something to really keep an eye on.
Kimichek at quarterback with Mungia to his right. Low snap,
again.
quick handoff, but he is met quickly by Caleb Johnson again in the backfield. He was in there last drive to make the stop on 3rd down, and he's in there quick again here.
Okay, John, as an old quarterback, the low snaps, what effect does that have upon a team?
Well,
in the offense.
When you're at practice, you're practicing the timing with your running backs. I mean, you spend 20 to 30 minutes a day just practicing that handoff. So if it's a low snap or a high snap, it throws off that timing, can cause those fumbles you see, and it can just throw off the whole play. And it really can just throw the quarterback and the running back off. So that might have been what happened there. And now Kimichek and Mungia back in the backfield, and it's a rollout this time for Kimichek. Looking downfield, he throws the pass, and it's tipped by Presgoda out of bounds. So that one's going to fall incomplete.
I'll tell you, Presgoda's having a heck of a ball game, John.
He is.
He's really doing a great job defensively.
And that time he was covering the leading receiver coming into the night, Dallas Ryans, for the New Prairie Cougars. And he got just there just in time to tip that one up and force 4th and long. It's going to be 4th and 11, so the punt unit comes out onto the field for New Prairie.
And speaking of Presgoda, he's back deep for the Marian Knights at his own 40-yard line.
So Kimichek stays on to punt. Excuse me for that fumble of the name. And so this one goes deep and down to the 45, Marion 45, and it hits the helmet of New Prairie. New Prairie's Brady Burnett at about the 45. So that's where the ball is going to be down. It was rolling a little more, but that stops
it. 5+ yards for New Prairie. So not bad field position now here for the.
No, a little more than a 3-and-out for Marion last drive. They did get the first down, I believe, but now a 3-and-out for New Prairie. So Marion's going to get the ball back, and that punt by Granado now comes into play because it flipped the field position a little bit. Marion starting on their own 45 this time as opposed to their own 20. Just 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. Again, tied game, 14-14. Marion tied with New Prairie here at Bobatolsky Field at Marion High School.
Well, I hope we're not lined up offsides.
And so it's Marion. Lassane and shotgun hands it off quickly to Osmond, the running back. Goes up the field straight through the line, able to get about 3 or 4 yards.
Okay, so really put his head down and just goes with it and follows that big offensive line on the left side.
So they're going to say he got up to the 48-yard for a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 now for the Knights. Looking to the sideline for the play.
LaTorre and Dennison on the left side of that line.
And Lassane waving over to his offensive coordinator, Brett Biddick, that, hey, we don't have to call play. There's 12 seconds on the play clock and only 2 seconds on the game clock. So that's going to run out the clock on the third quarter. So at the end of the third quarter, it's a tied game still here at Marion High School. Marion and New Prairie tied at 14. Marion with the ball to start the fourth quarter when we come back right after this.
Are you paying more than you should for things that don't really bring you peace? Struggling to meet your financial goals? We can help. Hi, I'm Diane Freeby of Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, inviting you to learn how making little changes to daily spending habits can make a big difference. Schedule a free financial checkup today at NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. That's NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. You already share our values, why not share in our benefits? Notre Dame Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to our Tire Rack Game of the Week presented by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. John Brach, Bob Berger here with you on the call. And it is the start of the fourth quarter. Marian Knights with the ball on their own 48-yard line, and it's a tied game at 14 against the Knights and the Cougars. And so it's setting up for a great fourth quarter of action here.
This ought to be what it's all about. Again, it's just great to see a great game between two traditionally powerhouse teams.
So 2nd and 7 for the Knights to start the fourth quarter. Lassane in shotgun with Osmond to his right. He gets the snap, drops back to pass, looking downfield, plenty of time, looking for Chase Bays, but that one's tipped up, and it looks like it was intercepted. It's Travion Ortman, the middle linebacker, getting the catch. It was tipped up by a lineman up there for New Prairie, and it popped up, drops right into the hands of Ortman, and so turnover for the Knights now, giving that one up quickly, and they looked like they had a chance to score there, trying to cross midfield, but now things shift right at the start of the fourth.
Well, it did. It happened real quick with Ortman. He's just an outstanding defensive player. Maybe we don't talk about him enough, but he's had 24 tackles so far in this young season to give New Prairie good field position. Again, as you say, to kind of flip the field here a little bit.
And that definitely does. Now, New Prairie on their own 48, trying to get across midfield. It's Kimicek at quarterback, hands it off to Mungia.
Yeah.
And Mungia with a good carry up the middle, finds his way across the 50-yard line for a gain of about 5.
He did just put that head down and went, and it just a good hard effort. That time, I think, I have a little trouble with the number.
So a long 4 yards there, sets up 2nd and 6. New Prairie with Kimicek and Mungia in the backfield. Kimicek gets the snap. Again, hands it off to Mungia, who finds some space up the middle this time, breaks through the defense and goes down the field, finally tackled at the 25-yard line.
Well, he got through that hole, and then he really accelerated. Great acceleration.
And we haven't been able to see much of that speed and acceleration from him so far tonight, but that time his offensive line set him up with a hole, and he was able to take off quickly. Get the big gain there for the first down, brought to you by Office Interiors. Creating
once
great
he
places
was in
to
that
work
hole,
since 1982.
he just, excuse me,
John. You're good. Once he had that hole, he kept going. And now he's set up again to the left of Kimicek. Gets the handoff again, going to the right side, shifting inside a little bit, but this time he's met by a handful of Marian Knights, and he's going to be brought down after about a 3-yard gain.
Okay, so again, Marion was ready for him that time. Again, tackled by Jake Murphy, another name we've called all night long.
So New Prairie quick to the line again. Kimicek now with Sinka to his left in shotgun, and one receiver to the right. Still pretty much a jumbo package there in the middle. Marion brings a lot of defensive linemen as Sinka gets the handoff. He finds a few yards before he's tackled by a Marion defensive lineman.
Well, he's going to get it up there where it's 3rd and short.
And it was Eric Logan able to find his way to Sinka there. And so he was able to get a few yards there, but it brings it to 3rd and 3, as you said. They're on the Marion 20 now, though, so they've made some progress on this drive.
Well, they have. Again, the interception really kind of set him up, and then the big run by Mungia
and
got him down there in a
big jumbo
good position.
package now, and it's Kimicek under center. He tries to get the handoff, but now there's a flag on the play, and I think they tried to rush that one too quickly. So it's going to be a false start against New Prairie. That sets them back from their 3rd and 3 now to 3rd and 8.
Okay, so hey, a break that time for Marion. And again, the 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, there's a lot of difference between the two.
And that's not what you want, New Prairie. If you're New Prairie, you had the momentum going into Marion's zone. And you were only a few yards away from that first down. Now it sets up a 3rd and 8. Marion with a chance to try and stop that momentum. Now it's Kimicek in shotgun, Mungia to his left. Still a lot of guys in the tackle box. Kimichek gets the snap, hands it off to Munguia. He finds his way, bounces outside, and he's still pushing and twisting and finds his way down to about the 15-yard line, and there is a flag down.
On the play. That
and
worries me.
It looked like his head got ripped around a little bit, so that might be face mask against the Knights.
Yeah, I would bet it is against the Knights. We'll see what they call here, which would be a crucial penalty right now.
It will, because it was
Yep, you got it, John. You saw it correctly.
So it is a face mask against the Knights, but it was a 9-yard gain. So it was a first down anyway. Now the face mask penalty on top of that is going to bring New Prairie pretty close into the end zone, closer to the end zone now with 9:31 left in this fourth quarter. Still a tied game, 14-14, as New Prairie and Marion are tied. And it is New Prairie marching down towards the Marion end zone. They're going to mark that ball at around the 8-yard line.
8-yard line, I think they're calling. Yes, that penalty hurt.
And so that's definitely a little bit of shooting yourself in the foot there for the Knights. Now New Prairie setting up a jumbo package, but still in shotgun for Kimichek with Munguia to his left. Quick handoff to Munguia. He finds his way through a little bit of a hole, pushing through the left side, and it looks like he's still going.
Yes. Got inside the 5-yard line.
And he was able to push down to
down
to the 4-yard line. Yep, inside the 5. So that'll set up a 2nd and goal from the 4. 9 minutes left in this fourth quarter in the game here between New Prairie and Marion.
Big opportunity for the New Prairie Cougars.
Kimichek quick under center, fakes the well, I think he might have turned the wrong way. He tries to recover going up the middle, but I think he's met by a swallow of Marian Knights there up the middle.
Yeah, I don't know what you call a large number of Knights. I'm not sure, but
it's a gaggle of geese.
I know it's a gaggle of geese.
A group of Knights there in the middle.
Group of Knights, okay. There was a gaggle of Knights then.
So it looked like he lost or he gained 1 yard there. He's back under center. This time hands it off to Mrzinski, who pushes through and finds his way to the end zone for the second time tonight. I think on the same play. So he pushes through for 3 yards there and gets the touchdown for New Prairie here with 8:22 left in the fourth quarter. New Prairie takes the lead 20-14 over the Marian Knights.
Well, they've gone to Mrzinski now a couple times on those short runs. That was a 3-yard. His first touchdown was a 4-yard run.
So I think they like that jumbo package with Mrzinski able to get them a couple yards almost guaranteed. So now they're going to set up for the point after attempt. They missed their first one tonight, haven't attempted one since. High snap, but he gets it down, and that one is up and good. So Owen Chalik able to put that one through the uprights, brings the score to 21-14. New Prairie getting the 7-point lead with 8:22 left in the fourth quarter. We're going to take a quick timeout and be back right after this on Redeemer Radio.
Welcome to Tom's Car Care Center.
Thanks. I'm here for an oil change. How long do you think it'll take? I need to finish up some work and then stop and pick up lunch somewhere.
Well, if you need to work, we have free Wi-Fi here at Tom's Car Care, and our Coffee Spot Cafe has great choices from soups to sandwiches, salads and wraps, and a great place to sit down and enjoy your food.
Really? I can do all that here at Tom's Car Care?
Sure. You can even run your car through the Waterworks car wash after we're done.
Wow, what a time saver. Thank you. Tom's Car Care has it all.
Tom's Car Care, the Coffee Spot Cafe, and the Waterworks car wash, located at 3201 Sugar Maple Lane in South Bend.
Welcome back here on Redeemer Radio. John Brach, Bob Berger with you here for the Tire Rack Game of the Week. And New Prairie has just jumped out to the 21-14 lead here with 8:22 left in the fourth quarter. And they are getting set to kick off back to the Knights. A great drive there by New Prairie.
Well, you got to give them a lot of credit. They really did. It had a nice run by Munguia that really helped out. Then the penalty, the face mask penalty, helped New Prairie also. The face mask penalty, that is on Marion.
Well, and something we haven't mentioned yet, the player of the game. Obviously, Munguia there pushing for a little bit of a mention for that. Of course, Mrzinski getting his second touchdown and Ortman getting the big interception. So a lot to talk about. Stay tuned after the game, and we'll name our player of the game, brought to you by St. Joseph Grade School in South Bend, two-time National Blue Ribbon School. And now New Prairie kicking the ball off. Marion trying to pick it up. It's Osmond who gets the handle on, and he runs to the outside. But he is brought down hard by New Prairie, and that's Ortman again on the kickoff, getting the hefty tackle there on Brian Osmond.
Tell you, Ortman's a heck of a defensive high school football player. Very, very impressed.
He is. He tallied up 112 tackles last season with 14 tackles for a loss. So very, very much a physical player there for New Prairie, and he gets the tackle there, and it's going to set up Marion on their own 19-yard line to get this drive started with 8:18 left in the fourth quarter.
Can you remember the hardest you were ever hit, John?
Oh, well, I can tell you one was against this same not the same team, but this New Prairie team when I was a junior in high school. Our line miscommunicated to let a guy right through the middle, but this time it looked like something a little bit similar. A New Prairie defender coming out around the outside to tackle Osmond. I think he was able to still get a yard on the play.
Yeah, it's a nice gain, even though he got kind of hit, was able to advance that ball.
So Marion going to get 1 yard, setting up, or 1.5 yards. So it'll set up a 2nd and 8 situation, 2nd and 8.5 situation on the 21-yard line. Marion setting up no huddle. Lassane in shotgun, Osmond to his left. 2 wideouts to the left. Lassane gets the snap, fakes the handoff, looking downfield, finds Chase Bays, and he doesn't bring it in. He's right along the edge of the sideline, and he can't quite get a handle on that one.
Yeah, I just needed a little more room there on the sideline. Again, it was put out there, but just ran out of room.
And that's one of those ones where you just want it an inch inside, a little bit more, maybe over the right shoulder instead of the left, and then Chase Bays is able to haul that one in, but that's an incompletion for the Knights, and it'll bring up 3rd and 9. And not a situation you want deep in your own territory.
Yeah, all sports, a game of inches. Just sometimes an inch one way or another can make an unbelievable difference.
Absolutely. And now Lassane in shotgun setting up this 3rd down for his Knights. He gets the snap a little bit low, looking downfield, trying to find Deuce Owens, but that one's a lot more inches over Owens than he would have been able to reach.
That was not a game of inches that time.
He might have had Owens there, but a little bit overthrown or a lot overthrown, and it's Marion 4th down and 9 now from their own 20-yard line, and you got to think they're going to be forced to punt. Of course, we won't know because they've got Lucas Granado in the game at quarterback, so it could be a quick kick, or it could be them going for it on 4th and 9 from their own 20. There's 7 minutes and 30 seconds left in this fourth quarter.
Well, New Prairie does put a man back in receiving position on the punt.
And it is Dallas Ryans back to receive, and Marion's going to snap, and they are going to go with the quick kick, and it's a high punt. Doesn't get a great bounce for the Knights, and that one's going to land around the 46-yard line where New Prairie will get set up with 7:24 left in the ball game to try and get another score here in the fourth quarter.
I'll tell you, it was a good kick. This time didn't get the roll or the bounce that he's gotten in his 2 previous punts. So that puts New Prairie in really pretty good field position right now with 7:24 left to go in regulation.
It does, and they're running up to the line pretty quickly to try and get this one started. Kimachek looking to the sidelines, a little bit confused about the play maybe. He's got Mungia to his right, 1 wide receiver out to the right. And Mungia switches to the left now. And snap, fake handoff, and it's Kimachek keeping the ball, trying to shift through the line a little bit, and he gets about 3 yards on the play.
That was a good carry, but again, the Marion defense, and again, that right side of that defensive line really was there ready to meet him, and you got to give him a lot of credit. Denard, Caleb Johnson right there.
And so New Prairie set up for a 2nd and 8 situation on their own 48-yard line. 6:57 left in the ball game.
Now I take it New Prairie not in a big hurry.
Not at all. I think they're going to try and have a long 8-minute drive like their first one of the half. And it's Kimachek getting the snap, handing it off to Mungia, who's finding his way to the right side, lowering his shoulders and pushing through a Marion Knight to find his way across the 50-yard line. So that one's going to be about another 3 yards, and it'll set up a third and about 5 yards for the New Prairie Cougars.
Aiden Kelly on the tackle, and it was just a big collision there between 2 very aggressive football players.
And now it sets up a 3rd and 5 at about the 49-yard line heading into Marion territory, and it's Kimachek under center for New Prairie, hands the ball off to Merzinski, who, again, he's their go-to to get a couple yards, but he drops the ball, and it's Kimachek able to fall on it at about the 44-yard line heading into Marion territory. So a little bit of a slip up there for Mrzinski, but his quarterback falls on the ball and helps him out.
You got to give Kimicek a lot of credit. He just didn't hand the ball off and kind of sit and watch. He was in the play and saw the fumble, and a very aggressive play by Kimicek. You were able to pounce on it and save a turnover.
And so now Kimicek back in at quarterback in shotgun with Cinca to his left. Shifting a couple of guys on the line of scrimmage around, and New Prairie is set to go. Kimicek gets the snap, hands it off to Cinca, who's able to find a hole and push his way right up the middle, take off quick. And he finds his way to about the 38-yard line on about a 6-yard carry.
Well, let's see. I see Presgoda lost his helmet, but he whipped it back on real quick.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody. He is out. Okay.
I don't think he can
He's
get away
coming.
with that
no,
one.
I don't think so either.
But we will tell you our key to the game sponsor is Christensen Furniture, a family-owned business serving Michiana since 1912. Christensen Furniture is located on McKinley and Mishawaka. Customer service is their hallmark. They make sure you make the right choice by offering free design services at your home or in-store. Christensen Furniture, where affordability meets style. Now New Prairie set up for their 2nd down and 5. Kimicek in shotgun, Cinca to his right. Cinca gets the handoff here, and he finds a hole to the left and keeps pushing, eventually dragged down by Marian Knight, but he got well past the first down marker, down to about the 30-yard line. And that's a first down brought to you by Office Interiors, creating great places to work since 1982.
And a nice stop that time by Middleton. Caden Middleton finally made the stop, but not after a big gain, as now the New Prairie Cougars are moving the ball, and the clock is also moving.
And Caden Middleton, we hope he's okay after that tackle. He hobbled off the field a little bit, so hope he's all right after that one. Just 4:45 left in the game here as New Prairie has the ball pushing into Marion territory on the 28-yard line with a 1st and 10. And they hand the ball off to Cinca. He finds his way around the edge, trying to cut back in now and pushes it down to around the 20-yard line. So about a 7 or 8 yard gain there for Cinca. And New Prairie is looking pretty strong here.
Yes, you said it exactly right. Now they're moving that ball. That offense is really kind of picking it up a little bit, and they're getting that 4 to 7 yards every carry now.
And the bad news for Marion is that they're picking it up on the ground, which keeps the clock running. Just 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game here. New Prairie getting close to scoring position, and they already have the 7-point lead. Now it's Kimicek alone in the backfield, 3 receivers to his left. He gets the snap, and he runs out to the right, quarterback keep, and he finds some space running down the left sideline, and he's into the end zone for the New Prairie touchdown. It's Marshall Kimicek in for the touchdown for the New Prairie Cougars.
Okay, so I'll tell you, he found that hole, got that 22-yard gain and touchdown, and that's going to make it awful tough now for the Marian Knights.
And he was able to just find some space on the edge there. Great blocking by his lineman, and he does make it a 13-point, possible 14-point lead for New Prairie here with just under 4 minutes left in this 4th quarter.
Owen Chalik coming in to attempt the extra point, got the last one.
And that snap is far and away from the holder and not able to get it, and that one is going to be an incomplete pass. Great attempt there by Chalik, but not able to get it to go anywhere. Actually, I believe that was no, it was Owen Chalik in on that one.
Okay, Chalik, he used their normal extra point. Had a little trouble. They've only made 2 of 4 so far. One was a 2-pointer though.
Well, and they out of the 3 that they've attempted tonight, they've only made 1 of them. So not a great yes, point. 2 of 4 in terms of point after attempts.
Point afters, yes, you're right.
So that sets it up as 27-14 now. Marion trailing New Prairie here. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, I'm Brady.
I'm William.
And I'm Murphy from St. Joseph High School.
I'm Claire.
And I'm Ian from Marion High School.
Because of Tire Rack,
students like us get to test drive
what it's like to be a part of the broadcasting world.
We're the 2022 95.7 Sports football interns.
Tire Rack makes our program roll smoothly.
Not only do we gain miles of experience,
we get class credit too.
For more tires
and great prices,
visit
TireRack.com.
Thank you, Tire Rack.
Did you know Notre Dame Federal Credit Union is the nation's largest Catholic-oriented credit union? Serving families from our area Catholic schools is a top priority. Contact Diane Freeby to learn how at NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. New Prairie set to kick off after their scoring drive, ending in the 20-yard touchdown run by Marshall Kimachek.
Chalik getting ready to kick off.
And it is a high kick, and it falls down to the Marian Knights, and it's Prisgota trying to find a space to go with it, but he's tackled around the 26-yard line. So that's where Marion will set up with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the ballgame.
Okay, now it gets into that clock. Marion does not want that clock moving. They got to do things to make yardage and keep the clock from moving. So it's going to be a tough order right now for the Marian Knights.
So Marion coming out on the field. Good news for them is they've been attempting and had some success in the passing game, but they're definitely not going to want to go to the ground too much here with under 4 minutes left, needing 2 scores to catch up to New Prairie. So
yeah, New Prairie has really controlled the clock here, and Marion has not had a lot of offensive opportunities.
And so it's Bryce Lassane in at shotgun. Osmond to his left. He gets the snap, and a quick pass out to Deuce Owens around the 34-yard line. He fights up a little bit farther to get a couple of yards after the catch, but he's tackled pretty quickly.
By Sinka. Brach Sinka made the tackle.
Brach Sinka getting a little bit of action on both sides of the field tonight for New Prairie, but that one's going to be a first down brought to you by Office Interiors for the Marian Knights after those couple extra yards by Deuce Owens.
Okay, the chain's a little slow here, and now the officials have stopped it to get the chain, which is
looked to me like the chain disconnected from the markers there.
That looks
for a
like
second.
a little more than 10. Okay, no, it's not. Okay, yeah, something. See, all right, yeah, something was wrong.
So
there,
now
John.
they've got it all set up, and Bryce Lassane is back at shotgun with Osmond to his left, 2 receivers to the right as they head right to left in this fourth quarter. Lassane gets the snap, drops back to pass, looking deep down the field, and it's going to fall far short of Jack Durrell for the incomplete pass.
So again, second down, and you can see Marion's going to be going to the air probably the rest of the game.
And they have to. It's 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the ball game, and Marion is on their own 37-yard line. Now, after that incomplete pass, it's 2nd and 10. Lassane looks at his wrist for the play that's called, trying to set things up. 3 receivers to his right. Gets the snap, rolls out to the right. This one looks like he's going for the flood pass, and he finds a man. It's Chase Bays around the first down marker. And
depend on the spot. I might disagree with the spot, but again, official was right there on it.
And they're going to say he was inbounds when forward progress was stopped too. So that clock is going to keep running. It's getting down to 3 minutes now as Marion is trailing New Prairie, trying to get down the field. Marion going with the no huddle, trying to get things moving quickly. 3rd and 1 for the Knights on their own 46. Lassane in shotgun, Osmond to his left. And that's going to be a false start on the Knights.
Yes.
Chase Bays and possibly a couple other guys. I know Osmond moved in the backfield as well, but
there was a real miscommunication that time about, I won't say half, but a lot of the Marion players were already in motion before the ball was snapped.
I think they were going for the hard count there, trying to get the yardage past the first down, and that would stop the clock too, but they need to all be on the same page there. It's hard to do if you don't huddle up. So Marion now 3rd and 6. Lassane in shotgun. Fakes the handoff, drops back to pass, quick pressure, high pass, and that one's intercepted.
It looks like Staley, I believe, yes.
Looked like it was through the hands of Braxton Brooks and popped up, and it was Staley who was able to come down with the interception, and you really just can't have that with under 3 minutes left for the Marian Knights.
No, you can't. And Staley, again, one of the returning veterans for the defense for the New Prairie Cougars, and got the interception. So, again, a turnover. And as you say, John, in this situation just can't. Now I'm sure we're going to see New Prairie really try to get that clock moving, eat that clock.
And with the running game they've been having the last couple of downs, they sure you'd think they were going to have success in that again. And it is Munguia to the left of Kimachek in the backfield. Gets the snap, hands it off to Mungia. Finds his way back around the Marian Knights. He goes over the top of a Marian Knight. Not sure exactly what happened there, but he keeps going. 10 yards past the first down marker, but there is a flag down on the opposite side of the field.
Okay, he got down close to the 20-yard line on that. 17 yards, but let's see what happened.
The ref's going to talk it over. The flag, interestingly, coming from the opposite side of the field from where the action was happening.
A long way away from where that official was. Here's the signal. Okay, it looks like holding, I believe, against New Prairie.
So New Prairie, that one's going to end up coming back for New Prairie. So a big gain there by Mungia, able to find some space, and now he's got to go back and try and do it all over again.
It is. It was a nice play again. A little holding.
So now New Prairie will be back where they started at the 37-yard line for 1st and 10.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of confusing things happening here, but the clock is moving. And that's a real key.
And it is already down just above 2 minutes left in the ball game. New Prairie going to let the play clock run down to 2 seconds. Low snap
again.
And they get it to Cinca, who's now in at running back, but he doesn't get very far. And so after that was 1st and 8, he won't get anywhere past that line of scrimmage. They might even lose a yard in that one and set up 2nd and 9.
Over at Father Blythe Field, St. Joseph's is leading Adams 21-14. That's in the 4th quarter.
So a close matchup there as well.
I thought, we thought that would be a close game also, just like we felt this game
So
could
a
be
couple
close.
of great games on both Redeemer Radio's Tire Rack games of the week for you.
Yeah,
this
that's a
week.
good way to start our double hitters, isn't it? Having just great games.
So it's Kimachek alone in the backfield. He gets the snap, and he's going to keep this one running to the left. Finds his way up the field, and he gets close to that first down, but I don't think he quite gets there.
I think he did get stopped. Now we got a timeout by Marion.
So a timeout by Marion. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1 yard for New Prairie. And we're going to take a quick timeout here as well, and we'll be back right after this with the rest of the 4th quarter here on Redeemer Radio.
Hi, I'm Brady.
I'm William.
And I'm Murphy from St. Joseph High School.
I'm Claire.
And I'm Ian from Marion High School.
Because of Tire Rack,
Students like us get to test drive
What it's like to be a part of the broadcasting world.
we're the 2022 95.7 Sports football interns.
Tire Rack makes our program roll smoothly.
Not only do we gain miles of experience,
We get class credit too.
For more tires
And
great prices,
Visit
TireRack.com.
Thank you, Tire Rack.
Welcome back to our Tire Rack Game of the Week here on Redeemer Radio. And Marion is trailing New Prairie 14-27 with 1 minute and 13 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. New Prairie with the ball on Marion's 29-yard line. Marion, of course, just calling the timeout, trying to stop the clock. It is 3rd and short here, 3rd and 2. So Marion, if they get the stop here, has a chance to try and still get the ball back. But with 1 minute and 13 seconds, you wonder what they can do.
Yeah, with the first down, the New Prairie really has things well in hand.
Kimachek alone in the backfield, 2 receivers to the right. He gets the snap, and he fakes the pass quickly and runs forward, and he gets a few yards, more than a few yards. He's still on his feet. He gets a second burst up down to the 15-yard line after being wrapped up by a couple of Knights. He breaks free and gets a long first down run, brought to you by Office Interiors.
Well, that can probably pretty well ice it. Let's see where the ball is. Looks like the ball's on the 11, got inside the 15-yard line.
Wow, so he got down to the 11-yard line, and the clock is going to start running again after the chains are set. And under a minute here in the 4th quarter, New Prairie with the ball on the 11-yard line, and they lead 27-14 over the Knights. Coach, obviously Kimachek doing well right now, but anyone you think standing out for this New Prairie team?
Well, I'll tell you, I just kind of enjoyed watching Travion Ortman on defense. some of the things he did. Yes, he got the interception. I thought he had an outstanding game on defense. Yes, I think Kumacek really just was very steady the whole ball game. I think that was a big thing for him.
I agree, and I think Ortman did a great job of turning the tide in this game in the second half. And so now New Prairie getting set after a rush of a few yards, and it's Mungia pushing forward, and he's getting close to the end zone, and he gets in for the touchdown with 11 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Mungia gets in for the touchdown for New Prairie. That makes it 33-14, New Prairie with the lead, with just 11 seconds left here in the game. So New Prairie getting another touchdown, adding it to their lead.
Well, that's, one of those things. The final score is not going to look that close, John, but it was a close ball game. It was a hard-fought ball game, and a couple of touchdowns here in the fourth period. Matter of fact, isn't that, I believe, the third touchdown in the fourth period?
I believe so. All of them for New Prairie. Marion not getting a point here in the second half.
So the extra point was good. So that kind of iced this thing with 34-14, and about all over.
And so Marion, of course, will return this kickoff, but with only 11 seconds on the clock, not much to do with it. So
no, it isn't. I think Marion, I thought, fought hard. I really think some of the younger players and the veterans, of course, too. But I think maybe they grew up a little bit tonight. I think they found, hey, we can play against one of the top teams in the state of Indiana. So again, we see here Marion getting lined up here. Looks like looks like Presgoda. I don't think he will be back there as a kickoff return. But got some new people
Chase
back
Bays,
there. Yeah.
and I think they
Osman
shifted.
is back. Yes.
I think they shifted Presgoda to the other side.
Okay, there he is.
Of course, a great game from both sides tonight, especially that first half. Really a physical battle, even to the third quarter, and then in this fourth quarter. Obviously, that's really where all the action happened for New Prairie.
Yeah, it really was. They kind of got things going, got some breaks, got some opportunities there, took advantage of them, which you always have to do when you get a break, and New Prairie did that.
And that's really the key that Marion couldn't quite get. They couldn't really get that capitalization on the drives and opportunities that they had. Now New Prairie getting set to kick off, and it is Chalik in to kick off. It's a short squib kick. Comes down to Presgoda, who picks it up, and he shifts around to the outside, but he's hit quickly, and his helmet's ripped off.
Again.
And he's going to be down at about the 30-yard line. And
here comes a little
I think a little bit of
people.
feistiness between the teams as Presgoda's helmet, it looked like it was ripped off. No flag on the play. And so he's going to have to come out of the game, and things getting a little feisty between these two teams.
Well, John, I tell you,
a lot of emotions
played,
with that
played,
physicality out there.
But it is, you're going at each other, you're going at each hard, and sometimes, you just get very frustrated when things didn't come out the way you wanted.
Especially for this Marion team that lost one last week close against Bremen, and now again here against New Prairie. They felt like they were in it for a while. They had it, and obviously a very physical game, and they just weren't able to come away with it. Just 5 seconds left. Marion set up 1st and 10. Lesane in shotgun, and it looks like they're going to probably take a knee on this one and run the last 5 seconds out.
I would think so. No need for
And they do. Yeah. And so that'll do it here at Atosky Field at Marion High School as New Prairie comes away with the 34-14 victory over the Marian Knights in their both teams' first game in the NIC Conference of the season. Of course, Marion will fall to 0-1 in the NIC and 1-3 on the season, and New Prairie improves to 4-0 and 1-0 in the conference. So a great game on both sides tonight.
Well, it really was, and you got to give both teams a lot of credit. I think they came out there and fought, and I think they'll be ready for next week, and trying to get Marion's going to try to get in that winning column going against Adams next week. New Prairie goes St. Joseph. We've got kind of a four-man tournament, 4-team tournament going here where they're playing each other. So it's a great game, very enjoyable game, and to watch. And you got to be impressed with New Prairie. And in the end, they really came through like they have done before in some of their earlier games.
Well, and of course, it's time now to officially name our player of the game, brought to you by St. Joseph Grade School in South Bend. And I think we both agree that that's going to be Travion Ortman, the defensive star for this New Prairie team. Comes away with a big interception there in the fourth quarter and really turned the tide a little bit in New Prairie's favor.
That kind of turned things around. Yes, you're right. And I think he's just a big, strong specimen out there. I don't want to use any other word, but he can really control things from the defensive side of the ball. And I'm sure there's a great future in football for Mr. Ortman.
And good luck to St. Joseph Grade School graduate Maggie Garnett, who will be entering her post-Dutchlancy year with the Sisters of Life in New York. How do you say that word there? Do you know?
What's you're going to have
postulancy. Thank you. Thank you. I was never sure on that one.
I know.
Never sure on that one.
I'll tell you, I've seen Sean interview the sisters up on the hill
He
already.
does a great job.
In the Sherathon, so he knows all that
everything.
stuff. That's right.
Thanks to our video producer, Sean, the all-knowing video producer sitting behind us. So she's entering her postulancy year with the Sisters of Life in New York in September. Please join us from praying for Maggie as she begins that wonderful vocational journey. St. Joseph Grade School, educating hearts and minds in the Holy Cross tradition since 1854, making God known, loved, and served. Learn more by visiting stjosephgradeschool.com. And, of course, now we have to review our keys to the game, brought to you by Christensen Furniture. Let's see how both teams did in that respect. So starting for Marion, of course, Coach Davidson wanted to come out and start fast and gain some confidence.
Well, I'm not sure that they did. They got that going in the second period, as we have already talked about, and then the second half really struggled. Didn't have a lot of offensive opportunities. I think the defense was on that field a long time, and eventually I think New Prairie wore them down. So, again, maybe not gaining the confidence.
And I think for Marion and all of theirs, on offense, winning up front, finishing drives, on defense, forcing third and long and getting off the field, not giving up the big play. I think in the first half and the second quarter especially, and into the third, they did a good job.
You got to give them a third period, too, that they did a lot of that. Great point, John.
But that fourth quarter where New Prairie really, they got all their points of the second half, not quite coming through. And for New Prairie, Coach McKim says the Cougars need to execute at a high level for all four quarters, win the turnover battle, and be physical on both sides of the ball.
They were physical. I'll give them that, and I think they did go at things, very hard. And hey, eventually they were able to possibly wear Marion down a little bit and get the victory.
And I think that's absolutely what it was. Any final thoughts on that, the New Prairie team, this matchup, and that physicality?
Well, I think New Prairie is one of the tougher teams in the big school division, and I think they're going to be tough to reckon with. As we said, they do have St. Joe Adams coming up, Riley, and then they finish the season with Penn and Elkhart. That will really tell exactly how strong they are. But they're on a little bit of a roll now, 3-0 now, and could get a lot more victories in there. So impressive. They kind of wear people down.
It definitely will be fun to watch the rest of this NIC contest for the rest of the season. So that will be a wrap on Week 4 of high school football. Be sure to join us next Friday when Marion goes on the road to face Adams. That game will air on Redeemer Radio and Facebook.com/957sports. If you want to get an early scouting report on Adams, you can do so by heading to our Facebook page right now and watching, I'm not sure if it's the end or what was the St. Joe Adams game from tonight. And a special thank you to our title sponsor, Tire Rack, the way tire buying should be, and our presenting sponsor, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union. Visit NotreDameFCU.com/elevate. Our high school interns assisting us tonight, Ian Nellist and Claire Watson. Our video producer is Sean Scott. For Bob Berger, I'm John Brach. The final score from Otulski Field, New Prairie gets the victory, 34-14 over the Marian Knights. Good night, and God bless.
with a focus on the dignity of the human person, body and soul. Don't miss a dose of Dr. Doctor Fridays at noon, or listen anytime at spokestreet.com/doctor.
Listen to Redeemer Radio Share-a-thon September 20th through 23rd. Be inspired by stories of how our local Catholic radio station is impacting the faith lives of people across our diocese. Then become a part of that mission by lending your support. We strive to create daily encounters with Christ. Help us respond to this call and support Redeemer Radio Share-a-thon, Tuesday, September 20th through Friday, September 23rd.
This is Zach Rathke, a priest of the Congregation of Holy Cross and a chaplain at Marion High School. Let us begin in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, recognizing that all we do is meant to give you glory, whether we win or we lose, we pray, glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.